And Nebo School District stepped in and said, you are not playing in one of our stadiums, you sicky Provo people. It's kind of weird, but so Provo was actually back playing home tonight in front of no fans at Provo High School.
Oh, very interesting, and that's an entirely different situation. It makes me think of Crimson Cliffs last year when they had to play at Hurricane. That's because their field wasn't done. For these guys, nobody wants any school from Utah County to play on their field. That's a crazy situation. Another example of how lucky we are here in St. George at the moment.
Our pregame brought to you by Interior Design Center. Like them on Instagram to see some of the stylish looks, or visit interiordesigncenter.com. And, we look at this game, and on paper, okay, Pineview's been racking up 40-plus points a game lately. They had 67 last week against Canyon View. And you go, on paper, this is probably going to be a blowout. But, Rustin, there's a few reasons why we think it's not going to be a complete blowout.
No, absolutely. I mean, you talk about the Panthers' offense. In the last 4 games, they go from scoring 41 points against Park City to 49 to 55 to 67. Whew. What's it going to be tonight? 70-something. Well, for the Mustangs, they are really trying to not let that happen. In fact, since region play has been going on, their defense has really shored up in a lot of different areas, AG, and they've been playing a lot better on the defensive side. And we know that Crimson Cliffs takes a lot of pride in that defense with Coach Elafapo and the way they really run that system. And so tonight they are up for the challenge, or willing to go against this very heavy, very aggressive Pineview passing and run game and see if they can slow them up just a little bit.
I had a chance to talk with Wayne Elafapo. We'll talk about what he had to say here in just a minute, but it's worth noting before we get going on anything, we talk about 3 starters out for Pineview High School in this game, and they're not just starters one way or good at one thing. These are real studs on both sides of the ball. Enoch Takau will not play. He's got a neck injury. They think he's going to be fine, but they want to give him a week off to rest that neck. Ryan Jordan, who has really come on. He missed the first couple of games as he was getting eligible with the move and everything. Ryan Jordan is out for this game. He's got a rib contusion, and they're going to hold him out. In fact, when he does come back, they're going to have him wear a flak jacket. And then Tossie is the other one, and I always get his last name incorrect, but Tossie is the another starter out for these Pineview Panthers. That's got to give, I think, maybe a little bit of hope to the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs, especially when you consider all 3 of those guys are instrumental in the interior of this Pineview defense, a defense that had struggles early in the year and a defense that has given up some rushing yards, and that's exactly what Crimson is going to try to do.
Oh, 100%, and that brings up the name Creed Leonard, and Creed Leonard's one of those guys. In fact, he is in the top 5 in Utah 4A with his ability to run the football. And we look at him last week alone. He was responsible for the Mustangs' one and only score into the end zone. 2 weeks before that, he ran for 4 touchdowns alone. And if you look at his season statistics, he's already above 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, about 6 yards per carry. The Mustangs absolutely rely on Creed Leonard to be a pivotal part of their offense. In fact, an interesting statistic alone is Leonard, in the games that Crimson Cliffs has won, Creed Leonard has attempted more than 20 runs and has gone above 100 yards in all of those. In the 2 games they've lost, Lehigh and Cedar, he's only ran about 6 times and under 20 yards. So in order for the Mustangs to be successful, the statistics show, and they don't lie, Leonard has to be playing his best football.
Obviously, that's something that Coach Hosner is aware of over at Pineview High School. In fact, when I asked Coach Hosner the key to this game, he says, we got to stop the run. I mean, he made no bones about it. We've got to stop. And by the way, there's a change at quarterback. You want to talk about that in a second?
Yeah, interesting because Tyler Brown has been under center for the Mustangs. And, of course, it brings me back to week 1 when we were gearing up for the season. And I was talking about Chase Hansen at the quarterback position, only to be corrected by Devin that it was Tyler Brown. Well, now let's take that correction back because Chase Hansen is under center once again for Crimson Cliffs. He's going to take over next to Creed Leonard in that backfield. And the Mustangs really just looking for that extra push offensively, right? I mean, this is their homecoming against Hurricane. They only put up 10 points against a Tigers defense that struggled at times this year. And I think they were really feeling disappointed by that 10-point outing. In fact, against Cedar, they only put up 7 points. They had a 0-point game against Lehigh. So what the Mustangs are attempting to do is add a little bit of energy into their offense, and they're hoping last year's starter, Chase Hansen, can do exactly that.
Well, and Chase is a specimen. He is an athlete. They call him a man-child. They call him Chubb, which is there's a whole long story about there. I know his dad, Chris Hansen, is on the road. He's not able to be here tonight, and just a shout-out to Chris. How you doing, man? I think he's, I don't know, in the Midwest somewhere at a conference, but his son gets a start tonight. That's important to him, and we hope that Chubb or Chase has a really good football game tonight. We are getting close to our national anthem. We're about 7, 8 minutes away from kickoff. I think what we'll do is as they bring the flag out onto the field, we'll take a 2-minute timeout. So for Marcus upstairs with the camera and for Ken back in the studio, we're going to take a 2-minute break, have our national anthem here at Pineview High School. When we come back, we'll have Keys to the Game brought to you by Camping World and the starting lineup brought to you by Sky Mountain Golf Course. Back in 2 minutes.
Our national anthem will be performed by Pineview High School students, Trilogy.
Welcome back. Andy Griffin and Rustin Burnside live from Panther Stadium, home of course, Pineview. Pineview's got 5-game winning streak going, Rustin. The one game they lost, it was a shootout. They ended up losing by 4 points in a neutral site game against Ridgeline. Ridgeline, one of the top teams in the state as well. They learned a lot from that game. One of the things they learned was they cannot give up running yards, and Ridgeline ran the ball very well against them. Ryan Jordan wasn't available in that game. Enoch Takal was making kind of his first start in his senior year, and they just couldn't stop Ridgeline. Tonight, it really is going to fall on the guys behind those two guys, Jordan and Takal, because they are out for this game. Can Pineview stop the run here?
Yeah, I know it's an interesting question, especially when you consider the injuries there. But there are multiple defensive strategies that Pineview can try to implement here to absolutely stack the box, try to get that run game stifled. You know that this is Hansen's first time back under center. You're not sure how often the Mustangs are going to go to the air. So planning on the run, preparing for the run, even with those backups in there, as long as they know their responsibility and where they're supposed to be, and don't lose that mental toughness to actually get there and wrap up and bring down the ball carrier, I think Pineview is going to be able to hold Leonard in check. It's going to be certainly much, much harder, and don't be surprised if Leonard has a relatively large game, but they should be able to do just enough to tie things over, to be that little bit of glue that allows the rest of the defense to come in and help while they hold their ground for just a little while.
Pregame brought to you by Interior Design Center. We're talking Keys to the Game now, brought to you by Camping World of St. George. You know, your 2020 adventures start at Camping World in St. George. Find a huge selection of all the top brands, sales, parts, service, and a full retail store. Visit 1500 Hilton Drive or go to campingworldstgeorge.com as it is homecoming here at Pineview High School. By the way, my daughter is in the marching band. They're marching at halftime. We've got the full uniforms on. By the way, those things are thick and wool. I do not envy them. It's not that hot tonight, but it's still plenty warm. All right, let's talk about the keys to the game here. Obviously, I talked with Coach Hauser. He said we got to stop the run. That's key number one for Pineview High School. Every coach says turnovers are important. And Coach Wayne Lofopo was talking about, man, pass coverage is going to be a problem because this group of receivers for Pineview is very good.
Oh, very, very good. And when you look at Dominic McKenzie, and when you look at Preston Mann, and even Christian Bailey, in fact, those three names alone account for 18 of Pineview's 21 receiving touchdowns that year. That means only 3 have not been thrown to Bailey, Mann, or, of course, Dominic McKenzie. Dominic McKenzie leads Utah 4A in receiving touchdowns and receiving yards. He is at the top in both of those categories, which means he's averaging about 21 yards a catch. He's a dangerous downfield threat. The same can be seen with Preston Mann. And for these 2 Crimson Cliffs cornerbacks, for these 3 Crimson Cliffs cornerbacks to come out and try to hold that up, it's going to be incredibly difficult because the Panthers are not afraid to go to the air. And a night where 2 of their running backs, and Jordan and Takao, are out, that all kind of points to maybe seeing a little bit more tossing from Braden Bunnell to his 3-star wide receivers.
Now let's go ahead and do our Star Watch. It's brought to you by Sports Clips. No appointments necessary. Walk-ins always welcome. Ask for the MVP treatment. That includes a haircut, hot steam towel, and massaging shampoo. Be sure to stop in for your MVP treatment at Sports Clips. Hey, it's good to be a guy. It is good to be a guy. Let's do this. I think Star Watch has got to be Chubb Hansen,
yeah.
Chase Hansen, the new quarterback making his first start this year for Crimson Cliffs. Let's go with the running back. I think it's going to be Lung Choi, although Collison will also get some carries. I think the pressure's on because you got Jordan and, of course, Takao, 2 major studs that account for 600-plus yards of offense and a bunch of touchdowns. Neither one of those guys are playing tonight.
Yeah, and for Lung Choi right now, if you look at him on the year, he has 30 carries, 200 yards, and has gotten to the end zone 2 times. So he is more than capable than holding his own. And you see that at Pineview. Normally their 3rd stringers, 4th stringers turn out to be starting caliber players, either the next year or for other squads or whatever it may be. These guys who are kind of behind in the depth chart, and he's not that far behind in the depth chart, always prove to be able to step up and rise to the occasion, and I think it's a great call to name him a part of our Star Watch because he is going to carry the load on the ground for this Pineview Panthers squad as we start to get hyped up here for Pineview homecoming.
The games tonight, of course, we've got Pineview Crimson Cliffs here. Across town, it's Snow Canyon hosting the Dixie Flyers. Both those teams 3-0 in region play. The Warriors come in a 6-point favorite, according to Nolan Perry's Power Guide. Desert Hills is at Hurricane. Those are 2 1-5 teams, but Desert Hills is a 3-touchdown favorite. Why is that, do you think?
Last week when we talked to Snow Canyon offensive coordinator, there we go, Coach Nowatzki, he said Desert Hills is the best one-win team in all of Utah, and he's definitely not far off. This is a squad who hung with Snow Canyon, gave them their all. Offensively, they're really seeming like they're starting to click. Some of those injuries are starting to kind of be put in the rear-view mirror. This Thunder squad, they're getting healthy. They're starting to slowly get confident because they nearly had that game against Snow Canyon. Their defense held the best offense in all of 4A to 7 points in that second half alone. I think they're going to come out and swarm Hurricane, and I think that has something to do with it.
The other game, the 4th game in Region 9 tonight, is Canyon View at Cedar. Now, normally it's a rivalry game, 2 teams with 500 records. We could have a really close game. I don't believe so. I think Cedar is going to boat race Canyon View tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. The Falcons got off to a hot start. They were playing smaller teams in Payson and Grand, and it was great to see Canyon View as a competitive football team and to see them winning, but the Reds are so talented, and they've shown. We saw them play Crimson Cliffs and absolutely blow them away. We've seen the Reds compete with Dixie last week alone in that 24-19 loss. So this is a Red squad who's very disciplined, very well balanced when it comes to the run game. Colby White is a fantastic receiver who's going to prove to be too much for those Falcons cornerbacks. That's Falcons secondary, who's given up a lot of big yards, including 5 touchdowns to Dominic McKenzie last week alone.
Let's go with our Sky Mountain starting lineup now. We won't name the whole starting lineup in football. That would take half of our broadcast. But let's talk about those two captains out there on the field. T.J. Francis for Pineview High School and Tyson Marshall. No, excuse me, that is Creed Leonard, a running back for Crimson.
Yeah, T.J. Francis is fantastic and really a big part of what this defensive identity is to Pineview. 20 tackles this year, 2 interceptions. He is a threat each and every week to make a big play. And some of the things he does go unnoticed because when you play that position, it can be a little bit of tough. People only seem to notice you when things don't go right. Francis is a fantastic football player, and I think he's going to have a big night tonight against Chase Hansen back at that quarterback spot.
Play-by-play tonight brought to you by Luke Udy. Yeah, how about Luke Udy and Luke Udy Insurance? It's not fun shopping for insurance. Not as fun as watching your favorite team win, unless, of course, you find a fantastic deal. And we appreciate Luke Udy for being a part of our broadcast. Call Luke today at 435-251-9102. Now, the fashionable thing nowadays, Rustin, is to defer to the second half. That's what we had here. The thinking is if you can come out and get a stop on your defense, you'll have the ball, and then you'll get the ball first in the second half, I guess. But Pineview's offense is so good, I almost think, well, why don't they go offense first and try to score quickly?
And I think that's just because they have that much confidence in their offensive ability. Whether you have a first, whether you have a second, it doesn't matter. You're pretty confident that you're going to go down the field and score. This way you set yourself up for an opportunity to really put the final nail in the coffin when you get the ball back at the end of the third quarter based on the beginning of the third quarter based on how your first half goes. So if anything, it's a testament to how much they believe in Braden Bunnell and that offense.
So Pineview will kick it off. They will be going right to left. They'll kick it right to left in front of us. And, again, they have dual kickers. The one kicker handles the place kicking. That is Frosto. And then they have another kicker who handles the kickoffs. And Austin Cogan is his name. Cogan is a junior. Frosto is a senior. And it is Cogan ready to kick things off as we put 12 minutes on the clock. And we get ready for football here at homecoming for Pineview. Cogan kicks it high, not super deep, taking it about the 7-yard line, and a chance for Crimson to run it back. They get it out to the 20, to the 25, and the pile is it's a big rugby scrum there, and that's where Crimson will take over, first down and 10.
Yeah, and that was actually Chase Hansen on the return. In fact,
really? You got your quarterback running the kickback?
Yeah, he's going to stay. Well, he's going to go get the call first, but I mean, it just shows how valuable he is to this squad. Even as a receiver, he put up fantastic numbers for Crimson Cliffs. If you look at his receiving stats alone on the year, he had 18 catches, 159 yards, and 2 scores before returning to the quarterback position here tonight.
He is a junior quarterback / wide receiver, Chase Hansen. The quarterback, Leonard, will be in the backfield with him as they run the spread with 2 wideouts and a slot to the left side. Looking to probably run the ball. And they do. Hand it off to the running back, Leonard, trying to get to the corner. Cuts it upfield across the line of scrimmage and will get maybe 3 or 4 yards to the left side.
Yeah, and that's the type of Leonard is right there. I mean, he could have been brought down probably around the line of scrimmage. In fact, the first one to get around there was Corbin Gifford, and he kind of broke that real quickly. It just shows the power that he has. You have to wrap up, and you have to hold on if you want to bring down Creed Leonard.
The final spot ends up being, did we have a flag or what are they doing?
They're moving it back.
They did have a flag. All right. It was a 5 yard, so it must have been a lineup procedure or something because they didn't stop the play. So it'll go from, would have been 2nd and 6. Now it's going to be 1st and 15 for the folks from Crimson Cliffs High School. Pineview all black with white helmets and white numbers. Crimson with their white, red, and blue scheme. Or crimson and blue scheme. Again, they hand off to Leonard. Leonard is bottled up right about the line of scrimmage. Might have got forward for a yard, but a little better run defense for Pineview.
And right now, this early in the game, if you're the Panthers, you encourage the Mustangs to run the ball. Of course, they're going to anyway, but you want to see how they're going to respond to the run game with 2 of your star linebackers out of the game. And so far, these first 2 plays, they've done an absolutely fantastic job.
Gain of 1 yard on 1st and 15 after the penalty, so it's 2nd down and 14 for Crimson Cliffs with Chase Hansen at quarterback. Hansen looks to pass this time, throws a quickie out to the left side. It's complete. Very good pass in rhythm. And a nice gainer on 2nd and 14 of about 10 yards.
Yeah, it looks like that was Trey Rockhill on the grab right there, AG.
Rockhill, I love saying his name, by the way.
That's a fantastic job catching it right there in a little bit of open space, able to break 1 tackle before he's finally forced out of bounds. But let's look at this. The Mustangs are a team known for running the football. Your 3rd play of the ball game, nothing's working. You go to your new quarterback, your somewhat new quarterback, and say complete something here, and he does a great job getting that to Rockhill.
Man in motion now. They go 2 wide receivers to either side. They try the handoff. And trying to get outside is Leonard, and a lot of black jerseys there, and he's going to lose yardage on 3rd down and about 3. It's going to be 4th down.
Big play right there. The only thing that worked for the Mustangs on that drive was the quick pass to Rockhill. And for this Panthers defense, missing some big names, they hold Creed Leonard in check on that first possession. In fact, he tried to bounce between the tackle and the guard, tried to bounce to the outside of the tackle, was bounced again before ultimately no gain. Great movement all around from that Panthers defense.
And I thought Tossie wasn't going to play. He's the guy that made that tackle. And a loss of 1, 4th down. And about 4.5 yards as the Mustangs come out in punt formation. Snap is good. Kick is away. It's a low kick. It's going to bounce at the 50 and roll. And roll and roll. And finally Preston Mann picks it up just to keep it from rolling any further. But when he did, he got to meet a couple of Crimson players face to face.
Yeah, I think right there the Mustangs were planning on downing that baby. And lo and behold, it ended up in Mann's arms. And it made for a pretty easy tackle.
You're a kick returner. Is that advisable to pick that one up? I mean, I know Mann has really good hands, but boy, that's dangerous.
Yeah, it's very dangerous, especially when you got 2 white jerseys right next to you breathing down your neck.
It will be Braden Bunnell and Douglas Lung Choi in the backfield. Bunnell wants to throw on first down. A little bit of pressure. He's rolling to the right side, and he slides down after a gain of maybe a yard. He saw a hit coming and said, you know what, I need to live to play another day, and he slid it down.
Absolutely, and for the Mustangs tonight, getting pressure is going to be so key for Bunnell. You look at his receivers and the yards they get per attempt, it's because they're great receivers, but also because he normally has a lot of time in that backfield.
They say no gain on the slit. He started at right at the line of scrimmage. They're going to say that's where he goes down. So 2nd down and 10 for Bunnell. Gives it to Lung Choi. He is hit in the backfield, and the defense of this Mustangs ready to go. Wayne Alofapo had him ready to go. It's going to be maybe a yard on the play.
And right now for the Mustangs, similar situation to Pineview's defense just a possession ago. They got to be feeling pretty decent right now. 3rd down, of course, this is where you definitely want to dig down deep. But great showing on the first 2.
3rd and 9. Bunnell with twin wideouts to the either side. Back to pass. Looking left. Throws it underneath. The ball is caught. What a great grab by Christian Bailey. With a guy on his back, he secures it. And that's what makes this Pineview team so dangerous. They got guys with hands.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily terrible coverage from Isaac Golder. But, I mean, Bunnell knew exactly where he was going. He looked Bailey's direction the entire time before delivering the strike.
Gain of about, 13 yards, 1st down. Again, they run this time. No, Bunnell's going to keep trying to get to the corner. He's got a block out there by Bailey. He goes up the sideline, finally out of bounds, just across midfield. Looks like another Pineview 1st down. That doesn't happen very often, Bunnell keeping the ball.
No, and in fact, we've seen him get outside the pocket 2 times already and get past the line of scrimmage attempting to run. And with no Takao and no Jordan, and Lung Choi is your main back, making him run the football every once in a while, that's a good call.
1st down and 10, Pineview, just inside Crimson territory. Quick hitter out to the outside, complete to Dominic McKenzie. McKenzie takes 2 or 3 big hits and finally goes down in on the play. Malachi Kaanohi, former Dixie High player, and his family's all Dixie High guys, but he came over with Wayne Alofapo. The gain on the play is about 7 yards. Bunnell with a slot blocker for the running back, Lung Choi. Lung Choi gets it, and the pile just smothers him, and he's going to lose about a half a yard on 2nd and 3. We're going to have a big 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, Brandon Reeves seemed to be the first Mustang to get into the backfield and create the hit. A couple times so far we've seen the Mustangs with a little bit of penetration in that Panther backfield.
Looks like they got 1 safety back now. Yeah, edging up on man coverage perhaps. No, it's cover 2. They got 2 safeties back there. Bunnell will look over the 2 safeties. The pass out there and not able to run it down. It's Preston Mann. A little bit overthrown. Looked like he tried to track the ball, but he just couldn't quite get the hands up. And now it's 4th down and about 4. And I believe the Panthers are going to punt the football.
Yeah, it certainly appears what they're going to do. And right there, you got to give a lot of credit to Y. Kanohi on that coverage. I mean, that's a very tough throw for any quarterback to make. We know Bunnell's definitely one of the better ones, if not the best in 4A. But throwing that direction over the top of a defender, it's nearly an impossible catch to make. So great coverage from Crimson Cliffs.
4th down and 4. Are you surprised they're kicking it on the plus side of the 50?
Yeah. Let's see if they got something else up their sleeves.
Pineview usually a lot of times will go for it in this situation. It was a straight punt, and it's a short kick picked up at about the 16-yard line. Tackle broken there, and Crimson Cliffs gets a nice little run back, and Pineview's going to net, about 15 yards on the punt, and now I'm sure Coach Osner's going, we should have gone for it.
You know, and you mentioned Chase Hansen returned the opening kick, and you said, your quarterback returning kicks. Well, he just returned that punt, broke a tackle, and now he's hobbling over to the sideline. In fact, Yeah, he's going to have to sit down on the side of the field.
So
he's down.
Yeah, he is down on the sideline. So back at quarterback for the Mustangs is Tyler Brown. Hand the ball off to Leonard. Leonard tries to get outside. Pineview scrambles to the football, and he's going to lose a yard or two. Boy, Hansen is still down on the sideline as they administer to him and try to figure out what the injury is. We're hoping it's just a cramp or something like that, but you never know.
No, you never. He's definitely being attended to right now. It's hard to tell on that opposite side, but as soon as he got to the sideline, he dropped and kind of drug himself a little further. And
he's actually laying on his belly, too, like they're looking at his back. Second down, they give him forward progression right to the line of scrimmage, and now a penalty as Brown back at quarterback with Hansen being administered to on the sideline by the training staff. Now he's turned over. Looks like he's trying to stretch his left knee or left leg. Maybe it is just cramps. I hope so.
It seems like it could be, and that's the best case scenario for sure, because he did take an initial hit that he was able to shake off, and you wonder if it came from the initial contact or after he picked up about 10 more yards on the punt return.
Well, and I hate to say it, I'm not going to criticize the coaching staff, but you really want your starting quarterback returning kicks? I don't.
No, we know that the Mustangs have so many talented players, and it just shows you how important Hansen is to the success of this football team as a returner, a receiver, a quarterback, and we hope he's okay.
That was a false start on the offense, so 2nd and 15. They run a little swing pass to the left side to Leonard, to Creed. Creed makes the tackle, or makes the catch, keeps his legs turned, and he's going to turn about a 5-yard gain into about a 12-yard gain on pure effort.
You know, I was about to say give a lot of credit to Dylan Becker there, who was the first Panther to get in and create contact. But Leonard, we talked about it earlier, he's so big and strong, you have got to stay wrapped up. And for the most part, Becker did. Leonard just drug him with him for a little while.
Giddy up. 3rd down and about 3.5 yards to go. It's really closer to 4, so they can't just run it into the line probably. As Tyler Brown is at quarterback on 3rd down. Brown back to pass. Here comes the pressure. He tries to get outside, looks downfield, has a man, and it's complete. And that is a first down for the Mustangs, their first down of the game.
Big play right there, Tyler Brown. You need that first pass to go his way. I mean, originally he's benched. The confidence has to be hurting a little bit. Comes out and completes a strike for a Mustang first down. But who I want to give credit to most on that play right there, AG, it was big number 69 for the Mustangs offensive line. And I don't have his name on my roster. Maybe you do. But they brought Becker in on a cornerback blitz. He stood his ground.
Stone Hansen.
Yeah, and did a great job and kept that quarterback safe as he rolled to the right.
First down and 10 at the 50. Leonard gets a little haul up the middle, keeps the legs turning, and will pick up 6 or 7 yards right up the gut. And I think every first down that Crimson Cliffs gets, they start to get a little more confidence, thinking, hey, we can hang with these guys.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those drives right now with 0-0 on the scoreboard. We're 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, and so far you're hanging with Pineview. Now, of course, let's go back to last week. Canningview went up 7-0 against the Panthers and probably had a little bit of confidence. So, and that didn't end up meaning much in the long run.
Not when you give up 67 points, no. 2nd down and 4. Handoff by Brown to Leonard, and this time Pineview sniffs it out early. And I think they're going to give him a generous spot back to the line of scrimmage. They'll bring up a big 3rd down, and actually he's going to say he lost a half yard, so 3rd down and about 5.
Yeah, great penetration right there from the Panthers defensive line breaking through. We saw 57, 58, multiple Panthers getting in on the action. I think Rick Mouet was one of the first to create contact.
And Braden Nome, number 58, those guys are the D linemen. When you can get penetration and get that running back early, it's a huge advantage. Now, 3rd down and about 5 yards from the 45 of Pineview for Brown and company. Brown back to pass, straight drop, looking nothing there. Now he'll roll out. He gets the pass off, and it's incomplete. I think he felt the pressure right at the last second, Rustin. Even though it was behind him, I think he felt something was coming.
Yeah, Ationo was in the backfield right behind him. And when you're a quarterback, and a quarterback who just checked into the game, you always are using those eyes in the back of your head to try to figure out who's on your blind side. And right there, he heard footsteps and threw a pass that was a little bit premature.
Right now, total offense in this game, it's 44 yards for the Mustangs and only 30 yards so far for Pineview. Of course, they've just had the one possession and punted away. Looks like punt formation now for the Mustangs. Clean snap, clean kick. It's high in the air, and Preston Mann says, get away from it. And it actually rolls almost by his leg and is going to roll out of bounds all the way down. What a roll and what a kick for the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs. Going to be down, what, at the 2?
At the 2.
Wow.
Tell you what, if Pineview's going to score on this drive, they're certainly going to earn it. This Mustang defense is coming out, feeling good about themselves. Did a great possession where they forced the punt, even though Pineview had gotten into Mustang territory, and they're hoping to do the same.
Early results from the other game in town here. It's 7-0 Snow Canyon, 7 minutes into that football game. We'll be keeping an eye on that all night long, of course. Here we've got no score. Pineview and Crimson Cliffs. We're 3.5 left in the first quarter. Quarterback wants to throw. Throws it underneath. I thought he was going to go deep, maybe try to get 98 yards in one play, but he does go underneath, and it is complete. Looks like Christian Bailey with the catch.
Yeah, right there. That was, that Jason Ponasua was licking his chops at that opportunity. Bundle does a great job. He's in his own end zone, doesn't seem to rattle him, stands in the pocket and delivers a strike to Bailey.
Gain of 15, first down and 10. Bundle again to pass. This time a little swing pass to the running back, Lung Choi, trying to get outside, makes one move, but boy, really well done by Crimson Cliffs. That swing pass 2 weeks ago against Cedar, they ran it over and over and over, and Cedar never did stop it.
No, and I think that's where the Mustangs have kind of benefited here from really the people on the defensive end and the coaches they have there. They take a lot of pride on that defensive side. They probably watched plenty of film, plenty of tape, recognize Pineview goes to that play quite often.
Second down and 11. Bunnell runs a little fly sweep as they try to get outside. Good block outside, and it's going to be a first down run. He is pounded hard on the sideline, but that was Lung Choi. That was almost a trap play from the spread formation.
Yeah, and that is Pineview's biggest rush of the night so far, if I'm not mistaken, AG.
Pick up a 15, and it's first and 10 at the 32. Pineview in a hurry. They're ready to go. Bunnell throws a quick wide receiver screen, caught out there by Bailey. Bailey takes another big smack, another Sand Hollow big hit, but in the meantime, even though he took the big hit, he gained about 7 yards.
And it's always a joy to watch Braden Bunnell in the pocket. He's always so calm and composed. On that play right there, he wasn't hurrying through any type of motions. He was relatively flat-footed, just turned and slung it out to his left. And it's just he's a quarterback who has that professional composure about him.
By the way, a key defender for Pineview, Marcus McKenzie, is being administered to on the sideline by the staff. Douglas Lung Choi runs it to the outside on the left side. Looks like he got enough. It wasn't a great, huge gainer, but it was enough for another first down for Pineview.
Yeah, and right now for the Panthers, you're more than okay with that. As long as the run game is picking up yards, it doesn't have to be big plays. In fact, Pineview's a team that seems to come on most strong in the second quarter. Once they get a feel of the game, make those proper adjustments, that's when they really seem to come alive. They put up 32 points alone in the second quarter against Canyon View last week.
First down and 10. Pineview now at the 44. They've come 42 yards. They still got 56 to go if they want to get a touchdown on this drive. We'll have a score update, a Herstate's hardware update here in a second as well. Play action. Bunnell throws it deep over the middle. Had his man, but overthrew McKenzie by about 3 or 4 yards. And you can see Bunnell right now, the body language is, I had a touchdown and I blew it.
Yeah, and it's really tough to say there because it looked like Kanohi as well as Jalen Walker were around McKenzie. I don't know if he got held up for a second fighting with those two cornerbacks in double coverage or if Bunnell overthrew him. It's hard to tell in the end. Either way, though, the ball falls incomplete.
Second down and 10 from the 44-yard line. The Panthers and the Mustangs. Pineview with the football. They hand the ball off as they hand it to one of the slot receivers, and he's going to run and fight for a few yards. That's Byron Collison, his first carry of the game. And Collison will get about 6 yards on the right side, Russ. And by the way, Herstate's Hardware score update. Snow Canyon scored again already. A 24-yard run by Landon Fry and a 3-yard run by Bretton Stone. And the Warriors lead the Flyers 14-0 early.
Oh, and we knew that was going to be a good game. But so far, the Warriors, a lot to prove here tonight.
Third down and 4. Bunnell in traffic. Throws it to McKenzie. Paul caught at the 35. Breaks a tackle and gets inside the 30-yard line as he cut a deep curl in, and it was perfectly thrown by Bunnell. And when you get it anywhere near number 23 for Pineview, he's probably going to make the grab.
Yeah, he ran that route so well as an extra bonus that he ended up putting Jalen Walker on the turf. He was able to hop back up to his feet and make the tackle, but such a solid route runner. Not only does he have speed and big playability, he can run routes well.
Play action to Collison. They run a deep corner pass, and man, can't quite hang on to it down at about the 3-yard line. Slightly overthrown. He kind of had to look over the wrong shoulder. Still almost made the catch.
And I mean, 2 cornerbacks in the vicinity for Crimson Cliffs, and Bundle still puts it where only his man can grab it. It's a hard toe-dragging type of catch that man would have had to have made, but great placement from Bundle.
And as it turns out, it wouldn't have counted anyway, as there is a flag on the play. Ineligible man downfield. And so that'll be a 5-yard penalty. They'll take it back to the 34-yard line, where Pineview will have first down and 15.
Yeah, it looks like Collison's still the main tailback right now for Pineview. His season statistics thus far, if Desert News is correct, 11 carries, 114 yards, which if that's right, that's about 10 yards per carry.
Don McKenzie back in. He sat out one play, and they split McKenzie and Mann to the left. That's a dangerous duo right there. And it's first down and 15, Pineview. Looking that way as Bunnell throws it deep over the middle and nearly had it intercepted. As a pretty good shot, and now we got a flag on the play. I think there was a late hit after the ball went high. Right there defensively for Crimson Cliffs was the other Kanohi, number 24, Waitai Kanahoe, but after the ball went by, Don McKenzie took a pretty good hit, actually lost his helmet on the hit. And I think they're going to call hitting a defenseless receiver or something like that.
And, I mean, the hit did come from the backside. It wasn't a shoulder into the helmet or anything like that, as McKenzie comes to the sideline with his helmet off still. Goes right for the water cooler. But it was Walker who caught him in the back after the ball had almost fell to the turf. So it's one of those tough plays as a referee. Like, it was definitely a big hit. McKenzie wasn't expecting it. No one was expecting it. But the timing must have been just right to throw that flag.
Back in the day, that's how you teach a receiver not to catch a ball over the middle. You hit him right after the ball is gone, but can't do that anymore in football. So Pineview gets 15 yards and a first down. They're now at the 19-yard line. Bunnell hands it off to Collison. No, that's Lung Choi, and Lung Choi will have a nice gain of about 9 yards on just a quick hitter up the middle.
Yeah, deeper into the Team D Auto Cells red zone goes Lung Choi all the way to the 10-yard line, and this is where the Panthers seem to do their best work.
Yeah, they're in a hurry as usual. They go trips to the left side, one receiver to the right side. Bunnell looks to the right side. They throw a little slant, caught at the goal line, actually at about the 4, and they make a good tackle so he can't get into the end zone. Was that Bailey on the catch?
It was. Bailey down to about the 5.
They were hoping, of course, with the short slant that he could break a tackle or two and get into the end zone. It didn't happen. So second down and goal to go. Ball at the 4. Bunnell fakes a Lung Choi, keeps it himself, going to the outside, dives into the end zone and scores a touchdown. Braden Bunnell with the rushing TD.
We talked about it earlier. He's not a quarterback who gets outside of the pocket often, but when he's done it tonight with 2 of your main running backs missing, it's been effective, and there it results in his second rushing touchdown of the season for Braden Bunnell.
That one from 4 yards out makes it 6-0 Pineview as time expires in the first quarter. We'll go ahead and kick the extra point on this end of the field. And then they'll have to turn around and kick it the other way. It'll be Frosto in to try the extra point, and he's solid. I don't know that he's missed one this year. Simply Wisdom Teeth is the sponsor. The kick is up, and it is perfect, and that'll do it. What we'll do, we'll take a 45-second timeout. When we come back, we'll have quarter number 2. We're at Panther Stadium on homecoming night. It took Pineview a quarter to score, but they lead it now by a count of 7-0 on our one-loss scoreboard. Well, Rustin, they had to do a little reconfiguring because Pineview was going that way, and then they kicked the extra point, and you think they kick off that way again. But, of course, you have to turn it around because we just changed the quarter. But 7-0 now. You could look at this two-way. Hey, Pineview got their offense going, 98-yard drive, very impressive. But for Crimson Cliffs, they got to feel pretty good that it's only a 7-0 game right now. They get the ball back, a chance to tie it.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's where the offense is. This possession is going to be so essential because with the Panthers, you cannot get into a shootout, and you can also not afford to waste any opportunities. This is a squad who scores in the high 40s, in the 50s, week by week by week. And, yeah, your defense is fantastic, but chances are Pineview is going to do the same thing tonight, so your offensive possessions mean all that much more for the Mustangs.
Kogan out to try kick the kickoff. Kicks brought to you by Simply Wisdom Teeth, and it's taken at about the 5-yard line. Pineview tries to cover it, getting outside as a return man, but Pineview traps him against the sideline, and the Mustangs will take over. It looks like at about their own 27, 28-yard line.
And is it Brown or Hansen? It is Tyler Brown trotting back out onto the field. We saw Hansen standing. He was up and about on the sideline, but Tyler Brown will remain under center for Crimson Cliffs.
I wonder, is Hansen out at receiver, perhaps? As I try to scan the sideline to see who's out there. First down and 10 Mustangs at their own 28-yard line here at Pineview High School on homecoming. Pineview backs off the coverage. They hand the ball to Leonard, and Leonard is bottled up after a very short gain. That so far the interior of Pineview, without Takao and without Jordan, doing a pretty good job.
They've held up incredibly well, especially against Utah 4A as one of their top rushers in Creed Leonard. So it's the ultimate test for these guys to get their feet wet, and thus far they've been doing a fantastic job. And when you look at Crimson Cliffs right now, Tyler Brown, if you're joining us, he is the second-string quarterback tonight. He's been the first-string quarterback throughout the regular season. And, in fact, you looked at his stats, 55 of 91 on the year, 60% completion percentage, 626 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 6 picks. So he is capable of big plays, and they're hoping for that tonight.
Hand up, nope, play action pass as the quarterback's being chased. He tries to get outside Tyler Brown around the corner, but he is run down by that Pineview defense. Good effort on the outside. Looks like it was that Shaw that made the tackle?
That was Corbin Gifford coming in and cleaning up Tyler Brown.
That's tough. You know, a lineman running down a quarterback, that doesn't happen that often.
Especially where the ball was bounced to the outside. That shows the extra hustle and the extra effort he had to put into making that play. And now it's bringing up a very tough third down for this Crimson Cliff squad.
Yeah, they gained 1 with Leonard on first down. Now a loss of 1 on the quarterback Brown on second down. It's going to be third down and 10 as they bring 4 wide receivers out onto the field. They run one-man motion right to left. He'll set up in the slot. Brown just hands it off to Leonard. Leonard tries to get outside, looking for that first down, but not going to get close. He'll get it out to about the 33. And that's it as McKenzie makes the tackle. That's not Dom. That's his brother, Marcus.
Yeah, and right there, Creed Leonard was waiting for something to open up right there next to his left tackle. It never did. He hesitated for a small moment. I'm not saying if he didn't hesitate, something bigger would have happened, but just shows Pineview's patience on the defensive side. Leonard couldn't get anything to open, had to bounce it to the outside. Panthers cleaned it up.
And by the way, a different punt returner out there for Pineview. Usually, well, all year it's been Preston Mann, but out to return this kick is Marcus Kemp. Maybe coach's not happy with him letting the ball go down to the 2-yard line last time. Here's the punt. It's a low one. It's going to bounce at the 35, and he's going to have to let it go. And so I'll talk about a return man, and he never got a chance to get his hands on the ball.
Yeah, now the Panthers will get the ball early here in the second. Remember, they'll get the ball in the third as well. But for Pineview, this was a team that had 2 drives on the opening quarter and ended up scoring on their second. It was a 98-yard drive all the way in to the Team D Auto Sales red zone and finally into the end zone with a big play from Braden Bunnell on a ball fake where he went to the left side, trying to capitalize and keep that offensive momentum going right here.
This is only the 3rd possession of the game for Pineview. Bunnell wants to throw. Lots of time. Now the pressure comes and down he goes. Tackle on the play, kind of a delayed blitz, and it was a great play by Devin McAfee, the junior lineman.
Yeah, and for Devin McAfee, that's big. This is a Mustang squad who has under 5 sacks on the season as a whole. They don't get into the backfield a lot. And against a team like Pineview, who protects their quarterback incredibly well, that is one of the Camping World keys to the game for the Mustangs to get into the backfield and create havoc there, and they do so right there with McAfee.
9-yard loss, 2nd down and 19 for Pineview. Bunnell to pass again. Looking. Now he throws a deep ball to nobody. And I don't know, him and Bailey maybe weren't on the same page. Bailey was cutting it in, and he threw that deep and out. And it'll bring up 3rd down and long.
Yeah, and we have to assume that was a miscommunication between the quarterback and his receiver. But at the same time, I counted 1 black jersey, 5 white jerseys. It might have been best that ball had sailed over the heads of everybody.
Yeah, good point. By the way, Snow Canyon scores again. Warriors now up 20-0 on Dixie. Lung Choi goes in motion, so that's 5 wide receivers for the quarterback funnel. They want to run a little tunnel screen to Lung Choi. Somebody got him by the jersey. Who was that? Holy cow, he had one-hand tackle on that one.
Looks like that is 33 from what I can tell.
For Crimson Cliffs, 33 is Jackson Griffiths, big outside linebacker. Made a great play. That was set up to be a big gainer. If Griffiths isn't there, I think Lung Choi is maybe going to get a first down.
Well, and on the year, Griffiths has 44 tackles. Make that 45 now. He is a key component to this Mustang defense and one of those defensive captains. And right there, making a big play, reaching out with the right hand and holding McKenzie in place.
So Pineview will set up to punt. Frosto gets it away. Nice high kick. And it will be actually, both guys kind of looked at it and then let it go. It's going to get about a 7-8 yard roll, so not a big detriment on that one. But it looked like a returnable or at least a fair catchable punt.
You know, in all fairness, there's been questionable special teams decisions on both sides tonight as far as punt returners go and whether to return it or not to return it. Add that to the book. And now that we say that, the next couple punt returns will probably be spectacular.
7:52 to go first half. Haven't had a lot of timeouts. It's been a pretty quick half. 7-0, Pineview leading. Crimson with the football. Brown with the quick hitter. That's not Brown, is it?
No, that's Hansen back out there.
Hansen back out there, and he immediately throws a complete pass as he hits that over to the left side to Gunnar Orr. A gain of, looks like 9 yards on 1st and 10, so 2nd and short. And I think Chubb's out there kind of surprised everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw Tyler Brown for 2 straight possessions, and then Hansen comes back out. We figured he might be done where we didn't see him on that second drive, and now he's back out there.
So Chase Hansen back at quarterback, great field position, and a 2nd down and 1 from the 43-yard line for the Mustangs. Hansen hands it off. And I don't think that's Leonard either. We got a different running back in the game as well. Let's wait till the pile unpile so we can see a number. Yeah, the carry on that one was by Easton Drew Bay. And Drew Bay runs for a first down.
Yeah, and Drew Bay is no stranger to carrying the rock for the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs. In fact, at least on the season, he has 97 yards. They like to use him more as a receiving threat. 10 catches on the year, 55 yards, but he's not afraid to take the ball from the quarterback and try to pick up some yardage.
First down and 10, Mustangs looking for a tying drive here. We'll have it at the 48-yard line. That's Drew Bay again. Drew Bay kind of a lightning to Leonard's thunder. And he has a nice quick gain of about 4 or 5 yards as they go on into the Pineview side of the 50-yard line.
Yeah, and for Drew Bay, this has got to be nice for the Mustangs to bring in a change of pace back. He's able to pick up some yards. Pineview had kind of figured out Creed Leonard where he wanted to go, his running style, and he wasn't necessarily effective at the moment. So they changed it up a little bit, and right now the Mustangs able to move the ball probably better than they have all game.
Clock and time brought to you by Nets on Fire tonight as we have 6:11 left in the first half. Handoff again, Drew Bay. Drew Bay is hit at the line, but he pushes the pile and will end up gaining about 4 yards on 2nd and 6. So it's going to be 3rd and short for the Mustangs. Let me finish my thought on clock and time. Check out netsonfire.org for back-to-school training specials and get signed up today. Nets on Fire, building champions on and off the court. 3rd down, let's call it 1.5, huh? Look right to you, 1.5, maybe almost 2 yards.
A very hard-earned 2 yards.
Mustangs come out with Hansen and Drew Bay in the backfield. Hansen gets a snap, runs a little pitch to the outside. Drew Bay looking for the corner, looking for the spot, and I don't think he's going to get there. Pineview strung it out. He got upended about a half yard short of the first down, and decision time now for the Mustangs.
You know, we talk about Corbin Gifford specifically on that last drive where he chased down Brown from the defensive line spot. He was one of the first ones there diving and initiating contact that initially held Drew Bay up. His hustle is on full display tonight, as it is every night, but he is such a massive part of this Panther defense, and we see it right there.
With Takao and Jordan out, the guys like Gifford have got to make plays, and they are. A great play by that young man. And they are going to kick. 4th down and about 1.5 yards. Clean snap. Kick is away as he angles for the sideline, and it's going to go actually way out of bounds. And they're going to net 10, 15 yards on the punt. We saw both teams do that now.
Yeah, and it looks like when that went out of bounds, it was returnable by someone on the sideline wearing a face mask. It was the wrong kind of face mask, and they did ultimately drop it, but I would have liked to have seen a spin move right there.
All right, we got things happening in that Snow Canyon-Dixie game as they're in the second quarter. Snow Canyon opened the quarter with their 3rd touchdown. Landon Fry ran it in from 3 yards out to make it 20-0. Dixie wasted no time as with 8:04 left in the first half, they get a touchdown. As Pineview here in live action swings the ball out. Little wide receiver screen. The ball is caught, and that is Preston Mann, who will pick up about 7 yards. To finish my thought on that game, it was Bronson Barbin with a touchdown pass to make it 20-7. Still early second quarter in that ball game. We got a shootout on our Hearst Ace Hardware scoreboard.
Yeah, and up there in Iron County right now, AG, it looks like Cedar leads the Falcons 15-9.
Looked like they tried a little sweep, a little draw play sweep for Lung Choi, and that did not work as the Mustangs sniff it out. That was actually Collison on the carry, and it's going to be no gain. It'll be 3rd down and a couple.
You know, and I like that the Panthers are still committed to the run game. The passing is always so potent for Pineview. They continue to go to Lung Choi. They continue to go to Collison, really waiting to get something set up as somebody jumped offside somewhere.
Yeah, that's going to be an automatic first down for Pineview because it was 3rd and 3. Now it's going to be 1st and 10 as they'll move it out to the 43-yard line. That's a first down the cheap way, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like they got Devin McAfee, who made a fantastic play earlier, in on the sack. Right there, he just gets a little too eager, maybe having visions in his head of his first sack, jumps a little early.
He was thinking sack again, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was. Here we go. So Pineview will have a 1st and 10. Clock reads 3:42 in the half. They can afford to take their time. Not a lot of time left. Bunnell, the quarterback, hands it off to Collison, and Crimson Cliffs, pretty good coverage on that one. They got him early. He's able to fall forward across the 45. That'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, and right there, he did something that's pretty hard to do. He broke a tackle from Salanoha there. That's not an easy task for any running back, but he was able to do so, slip out, and pick up maybe another yard or two.
Ball just nosing across the 45, near the 46. 2nd down for the Panthers. They need about 6.5. Want to run the swing. Instead, they run the slant, and it is caught. Preston Mann looks his hands in. Now it's a foot race to the 20 and down to the 15-yard line for the speedster. Was that Mann or Moten?
It was Moten.
It was Moten. Okay.
Tyson Moten.
You watch him, and one of the things I loved about that, he had both hands out. He watched the ball all the way into his hands and then made moves after he caught it.
Because he ran that route so well and because his fundamentals were so impressive and everything was right on the money, he was legitimately able to catch that and outrun 3 Mustangs. He was surrounded when he grabbed that football. Didn't matter because he was able to pick up exactly where he caught that ball and scamper for about 10, 15, 20 yards more.
Spot down to the 16. They're in the Team D Auto red zone, and it'll be 1st down and 10, and I think we're going to have a timeout. So we'll take the timeout. Again, we've got 2:48 left in the first half on our one-loss scoreboard. It is Pineview 7, Crimson Cliffs nothing, back in 45. Welcome back, Andy and Burns here, Andy and Rustin here at the second quarter of homecoming here at Pineview High School. Panthers maybe a little tight here, have not gotten their offense going real well. They have 1 touchdown drive and lead at 7-0, but they're knocking on the door once again.
Yeah, they've been incredibly patient up to this point. In fact, most of their plays have been quick little out passes, and most of the runs have been right up the gut, and I think they've been content with that so far. I don't think they're too concerned. They haven't put up big numbers here in the first half because the defense has played as well as it has.
First down and 10. They go with the running play once again, and not much there. I say that, but, you know, he hit the pile. The pile was 2 or 3 yards downfield, so even though there wasn't much gain, it actually ended up being +3.
And that's one of the toughest statistics to track. And as a person who loves statistics, I mean, a 1 yard, 2 yard gain doesn't seem like much, but sometimes those players are giving all they got to pick up that 1 or 2 yards.
That was Lung Choi on the carry, 2nd down and 7 Panthers. Quarterback Bunnell wants to throw, throws it over to McKenzie, caught at the 7-yard line, trying to fight for more yardage, and he's going to go down at about the 6, but that should be just about enough for a first down for Pineview as the clock runs with 2:10 left. See the spot. Well, they're going to mark him back, I think, at the 8.
Yeah, and that was Tyson Moten's second grab. That's a hard one because you hear footsteps on that play. Walker or Kainohi was coming in hot, and he was still able to hang on.
It is 3rd down and a yard for the Panthers as Bunnell looks to the sideline. Lung Choi looks to the sideline as we try to figure out what play we want to run here. Now they'll move Lung Choi from the right to the left side of Bunnell. They do have a blocking fullback in there on 3rd down and short. Clock running with 1:35 left in the half. They hand it to Lung Choi, and he'll have a first down inside the 5-yard line as Pineview with a first down and goal to go.
And, you know, here's where that decision, I don't want to speak too ahead before the Panthers can even get into the end zone, but Pineview's thinking of being up 14-0 with getting the ball back at the beginning of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, good point. Ball at the 4, 1st and goal. And Pineview's going to go ahead and use a timeout now. I think that's a Pineview timeout. What? No, it's actually a timeout on Crimson Cliffs. We'll take another timeout. Back in 45. All right, we're back at Pineview High School. We're going to have an extended halftime coming up in just about, a minute 23 of game time. Will Pineview will be up 7-0, 10-0, 14-0? Who knows? We'll see here in the next couple of minutes. Andy and Rustin here from Pineview High as the marching band makes its way down for a halftime show here in homecoming. Pineview stays in the spread, although they've got a blocking back up ahead of Lung Choi. Quarterback wants to throw. He throws it deep into the corner. It is caught for a touchdown.
That's Preston Mann making a big, big grab.
Man coverage out there. He ran a little deep out, threw it to the corner, and Mann just said, that's my football. You're a squirrel trying to get a nut. This is my world.
You know, and I love the play calling there coming out of a timeout from Crimson Cliffs. They wanted to try to get things right because the Panthers were running it up the gut. They come out, Bunnell drops back and delivers an absolute beauty to Preston Mann.
Frosto out to try the extra point. Right now 13-0. The PAT would make it 14 with 1:17 left on the clock. Wait for the snap. And the kick is up. Not straight, but straight enough to go through. And it's now 14-0 on our one-loss scoreboard. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Andy and Rustin here, as Pineview has scored their second touchdown of the game with 1:17 to go in the half. Panthers will get the ball first in the second half. That might motivate Crimson to try something here late in the half, Rustin. And by the way, Herstate's Hardware scoreboard, Dixie has come storming back. 2 straight touchdown passes by Bronson Barbin. It's now 20-14. Snow Canyon up by 6 on the Flyers. There's the kickoff by Kogan, and it's going to go into the end zone for a touchback.
You know, and this is interesting territory right here for the Mustangs. 1:17 reads over there on our Nets on Fire clock. And one thing that's interesting about this, Chase Hansen returning to center. This is his first game back as the starting quarterback, and you got a 2-minute drill, under 2-minute drill to run here for the Mustangs, because you know they don't want to go into half with a 0, but they've been pretty conservative. They've been running the football. I'm interested to see how much they're willing to try with Chase Hansen under center here.
And just as you say that, it looks like Tyler Brown is back out there at quarterback. No. I can't tell. I think that's a 4, though. Yeah, it is a 4. That was Brown at quarterback, and he hands off. And it looks like they're content to be down just 14-0 instead of what it could be, perhaps, Rustin, as they hand it off and gain a yard, and the clock will run with 1 minute now left in the first half.
And if there's anything good to take away from that moment right there, it's the fact that Chase Hansen was on the field. Instead of Brown under center, Hansen was lined up to the left at the wide receiver position. So he is healthy. He's back in the ball game. He's just not under center right now for the Mustangs.
Maybe this is where you try a halfback pass. You hand it off to on a fly sweep and let Hansen throw it, perhaps.
Got to throw something new at Pineview. They've gotten pretty comfortable with what the Mustangs are running so far.
Brown and Drew Bay in the backfield. They ran it, and they are going to run a double reverse. No, he was supposed to pitch it, but instead he kept it, and Drew Bay gets a nice gain, and we'll have a first down out to the 31-yard line. That looked like it was going to be a double reverse pass, just like we were talking about, Rustin, but Pineview had the penetration and blew it up.
Man, I'll tell you what, I don't necessarily like the fact that they're running the ball right now, but a lot of credit to Drew Bay. He put Pineview in the spin cycle. Fantastic spin move to break out to the left side and pick up extra yards. No doubt about it, he runs hard.
That's your B button on your Xbox controller, folks, with the spin. Now they come out with 4 wide receivers with 10 seconds left in the half. They may just run this thing out. Brown is going to try one more play. He rolls to the right side, running out of time and room, and he throws it underneath. The ball is caught at the 35 to the 40 to the 45-yard line, but the half is going to end on that completion by Brown. And, yeah, that's going to do it. By the way, the receiver on that play was number 88, Jordan Eaton. And we've reached halftime here at Pineview High School. Before we go to break and everything, maybe, Russ, if you want to give your evaluation of half number 1 here, Pineview Crimson Cliffs.
You know, it's interesting to see the Panthers right now in this current situation. Of course, it's not weird to see them ahead at halftime, but to only have 14 points. Now, that's one of two things. A lot of credit either goes to the Mustangs' defense for holding them in check, or Pineview is just taking a much more conservative approach at the moment. In fact, we've seen a lot of their plays be quick little out passes, runs up the middle. They seem right now to be letting the game come to them, and that's what good football teams do. You don't try to do anything out of the ordinary. I think right now Pineview's content, they're patient, they're willing to run their plays to perfection at the moment, and the big plays will come later down the road. For the Mustangs, we need to see something a little bit more on the offensive side to hang with a team of Pineview's caliber, but you got to be going into the half happy you're only down 2 scores, as many teams have gone into the half down at least 4, 5, 6 scores against the Pineview Panthers.
Yeah, they had 47 in the first half last week. So, all right, it is halftime. 14-0 is our count here at Pineview High School. The Panthers on top of the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs. It is homecoming. We're going to have an extended halftime. We get about 20 minutes, folks. Apologize for that. We'll get back to football as soon as we can, for sure. I know you and I would rather just start the second half right now, but we don't get a say in the matter. When we come back, our InfoWest halftime report is in play. We'll have the Wilkinson stats. We'll have the Herstate's Hardware scoreboard. We'll talk about some of the strategies that will be involved in the second half as well. And again, we're at the break. A 2-minute timeout. 2-minute timeout. It is Pineview 14 and Crimson Cliffs nothing. Welcome back, folks. Andy and Rustin here at the half. It is 14-0. Pineview on top of Crimson Cliffs. And as happens with the festivities with homecoming. Now, you said you went to a really small school?
Yeah, Manila.
Manila High School. With how many students in your graduating class?
13.
Wow. I had, I think it was 400 in my 470 or something in my graduating class.
Close.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah, pretty similar. I had enough people in my graduating class, I didn't know all their names. I'm sure you knew everybody's names in your graduating class.
Yeah, a little too well.
What was homecoming like for you? You said that homecoming was actually in the basketball season?
It was. So where we were small enough school, and for local teams, I mean, this goes for, Penguich and Valley and teams like that. We play our baseball in the fall when other people are playing football.
That's right.
And so our homecoming is during basketball season, and you decorate the gym. You still have homecoming dance. But other than that, it is not nearly the same type of environment that you get with these football games. I loved it growing up. I appreciate it. But it's an absolutely different atmosphere out here, and it's really fun to see, Snow Canyon, Pineview, Desert Hills put on these fantastic homecoming shows that everyone here enjoys almost just as much as the football game.
I think I barely knew the homecoming queen, and the homecoming king was actually a quarterback of our football team. So, that's big schools are a little bit different. But, yeah, they're down there. They're about to crown the royalty. I think they just did crown the queen, right? Yeah, one of the cheerleaders is the homecoming queen. Have they crowned the king yet? I wish I knew names, but I don't here. There we go. The marching band about to head out onto the field for Pineview High School. Again, we're at the half, 14-0. Let's talk about some of the strategies. What do you want to go, stats first? Or what do you think?
Yeah, I think stats is a fantastic place to start. It'll help us analyze and break down everything else that we've kind of seen. And, stats are interesting, AG. They're not a tell-all of everything. You don't see the heart and determination and really the frustration behind some of these statistics, but they're really a good meter to set what's been going well and what hasn't for these two squads tonight.
And I'm going to give you the anomaly number of the year. How about that? Okay?
Yeah.
Chase Hansen, quarterback for Crimson Cliffs. How about this, Rustin? He has attempted and completed every single pass he's tried this season. He has 7 attempts in, 7 games now, and he's 7 for 7. Unfortunately, only 7 attempts in 7 games, yeah, he was 3 for 3 coming in. He's 4 for 4 in the first half of this game.
And we know that that's going to have to change in this second. Well, assuming that he goes back under center, he may not. Tyler Brown ended the half as the quarterback there, but it's nice to know that you have that option. And for the Mustangs, this quarterback carousel is something that's been very familiar to the school really ever since they became a thing last year. Gunnar Orr started as the main quarterback, switched to Chase Hansen. Gunnar Orr became a receiver. Hansen was your guy, and now Tyler Brown's your quarterback. And Hansen and Orr are both receivers. So having 3 guys who are capable of throwing the football is always an encouraging sign for the Mustangs. They're just really trying to figure out how to utilize those 2 guys in Brown and Hansen to get the most from their offense. And so far with 0 on the scoreboard at half, there's still a couple little things that need to be tinkered with.
And those on video with us streaming online, you can see the Pineview Panther Marching Band about to do their halftime show here at Homecoming. And those of us on radio will continue with our InfoWest halftime report. For the fastest internet in southern Utah and a local support, trust the internet people at InfoWest. You want to find out more, go to InfoWest.com to sign up today. Let's go team statistics first. As total offense in this game, 177 for Pineview. Crimson actually not bad, 105 yards. You'd like that to be 150 or more at halftime, but 105 isn't bad. But, boy, they have not even sniffed the red zone yet, Rustin.
Yeah, and for the Mustangs, 105, you've had games this year where you've been close to that at the end of the fourth quarter, so you'll take that. The unfortunate thing is a lot of rushing yards that have been picked up have come from Easton Drew Bay rather than Creed Leonard, and you appreciate the way he's running, but you know for a fact the Mustangs want to get Leonard running the football effectively. We talked about the statistic earlier. When Crimson Cliffs has won out of their 3 games, they're 3-2. Leonard has ran for more than 100 yards and has at least 20 carries. Those 2 games that they've lost, smackdowns from Lehigh, smackdown from Cedar, Leonard has got less than 20 yards and has only carried the ball around 6, 4, 5 times for Crimson Cliffs. So they need to get him rolling for the Mustangs to truly feel comfortable on the offensive end.
And to illustrate your point on this Wilkinson stat line, Creed Leonard, 7 carries, 11 yards.
Ooh, yeah. That's tough sledding. And, at Pineview, especially with two essential guys with Takao and Jordan now, they were ready for this. And this goes to show you how well prepared and how much they work throughout the week to get ready for a Mustang team who's so reliant on that run game. And they've been able to hold them in check for every single moment tonight.
Stats tonight brought to you by Wilkinson's. Light It Up Region 9 Take State from the light experts at Wilkinson's. They've got lights, fans, and fixtures, plus unique items like board games. Contractors and homeowners can rely on Wilkinson's across from Fiesta Fun in St. George. Some other individual stats for the Mustangs first. I mentioned the quarterback, Chase Hansen, 4 of 4 for 51 yards. That's good news, although he didn't play that much because of the injury. Tyler Brown, 1 of 2 for 16 yards. Rushing the ball, it's Drew Bay leading the way. 6 carries, 28 yards. Creed Leonard, 7 carries, 11 yards for 1.6 yards per carry. And then Brown was actually sacked for a loss of 1 yard for a total rushing yardages of just 38 yards on 14 carries.
And when you look at that overall passing, what's 51 plus 16? Good. Where's your math at, AG?
51, 60, that's 66, right?
66, yeah. Let's roll with it.
67, yeah.
So that's your passing yardage. That's almost doubling your rushing yards. And, of course, that doesn't seem like a bad thing, but for this Crimson Cliff squad, it's not what you want to see. They're so good when that run game's working. And hopefully you hope the pass game continues to excel and go upward and they keep this rhythm up that they've had. But the run game definitely needs to get going for the Mustangs to stand a chance in this football game.
Leading receivers in the game for Crimson Cliffs, number 5 is Gunnar Orr. You talked about him a minute ago. He has 2 catches, 28 yards. 1 catch for 16 yards for Jackson Ritchie. Creed Leonard had 1 catch for 12 yards. And big number 89, the tight end, that is Caleb Horn, has 1 catch for 11 yards. On the other side of the ledger, numbers a little shinier for Pineview. How about Braden Bunnell? 12 of 15 passing, 125, 1 touchdown, no INTs. And then throw in the fact that he has 6 yards rushing but 1 big touchdown.
And it's interesting that you mentioned he's thrown the ball 15 times. I don't know if I would have guessed that if you said guess these statistics. It really shows how methodical Pineview's been at moving the football. They've been slow, they've been patient, and Bunnell attempting 15 passes shows that. They've had a pretty balanced mix, and I'm sure we'll see that when we get into the rushing statistics. But it's very interesting that Bunnell's attempted 15 passes already, and it's resulted in 2 scores. I like the way that Pineview has been patient with the football, and they've let the game come to them.
And by the way, that's about 10 yards per completion and about 8.5 yards per attempt. So you're right. They're not. I think I can remember maybe 2 deep passes in this game, and both of them were incomplete. So they're satisfied with taking the underneath stuff right now.
And, I mean, that's what Crimson Cliffs has given up at the moment. The Mustangs come into this game understanding this is an offense that scored 38, 41, 49. I mean, 67 last week against Canyon View. They seem to score more week by week, and so they come in with that mentality at all costs. Keep away the big plays, keep away the massive yardage situations, and they've done a good job in that regard. But the Panthers are showing you they can win in all types of situations by how well they've still been able to move the football, most of their drives resulting in a score.
Receiving in the first half for Pineview, leading receivers Christian Bailey, 4 catches, 38 yards. Dominic McKenzie, 3 for 32. Preston Mann, 2 for 11, but he did get that beautiful touchdown grab in the corner. 2 for 44 for Tyson Moten. And Doug Lung Choi, well, he caught 1 pass but didn't gain any yardage on it. So they've done a good job of containing the receivers. No big plays, but if they're going to give them the cushion, they're going to take that short stuff.
Yeah, and the big plays will come, right? I mean, and this is why Pineview's so content to let the game come to them. They know that as soon as they start to figure out and master the stuff that Crimson Cliffs is giving them, which is the 5-yard, 10-yard pass plays, the 2, 3-yard runs, that eventually something will break out, and from there the rest of the game will open up and seem entirely new for this Panthers offense. So the big plays will come, but it's a big testament to the Mustangs defense and their ability to prep and prepare for this game this week. And right now hold the Panthers in check. No one else has held Pineview to 14 points at half, other than they did have a pretty tight game against Highland where they only ended up scoring 21 points. This is the only other situation I can think of this year where the Panthers offense has been as limited.
All right, let's take another timeout. Breaking news on that Snow Canyon-Dixie game. We'll get to that on our Hearst Hardware scoreboard right after this timeout. It's the Info West halftime, 14-0. Pineview on top here. We'll be back in 2 minutes. It's homecoming here at Pineview High, if I can say the word. It's homecoming here at Pineview High School. The dance club, dance company out there doing their thing. We had the marching band. We had the homecoming king and queen. And Russ, and I understand you are the homecoming queen this year.
Yeah, actually, this is my 3rd year in a row now.
Nice.
Self-proclaimed.
Our game is the Info West Halftime Report. We've got our Hershey's Hardware scoreboard now. The developing situation I was talking about was the fact that Dixie High, down 20-0 to Snow Canyon early in the second quarter, has come storming back. The Flyers with 3 straight touchdown passes by Bronson Barberman, 2 of those to Greer, and Dixie has taken a 21-20 lead with under a minute to go. 1:03 left in the first half. Did not see that coming.
No, and the Flyers are the ultimate definition of never counting someone out. I mean, I don't know if Dixie's going to play a game this year that isn't close, where they don't somehow end up coming out on top. I mean, they did that against Cedar, 24-19 win, and right now they're making things interesting against Snow Canyon. This is a squad who is so well disciplined and so well coached, regardless of injuries, regardless of players trying to come into their own. They seem to compete week in and week out, even though talent-wise they seem a little more down than they've been in a long time, and they're still a threat to be reckoned with in Region 9.
You know, it's funny. I talked with Blaine Monkers, the Dixie coach, right after they started 0-3, their first game out of the 0-3 preseason start, and I said, what did you learn from those 3 losses? I tried to be philosophical with the coach, but, you know, Blaine Monkers, the old ball coach, he tells it like it is. He said, well, we learned how to lose. They had lost 3 games by a total of 7 points to that point. Of course, ever since then, they have not lost, and right now they lead Snow Canyon by 1 point. That's a team. In talking with Monkers, he's like, you know, we have these stretches where we have a rebuilding year, and then the next year we're good, and then the next year we're great. I said, so is this one of those rebuilding years? He said, well, I hope not. Yeah. But he said at the time, again, they were 0-3 when I talked to him about it, and obviously they figured some things out over there at DHS.
Well, and you got a well-coached Dixie team going up against Snow Canyon, mind you, who had their first game of the year that was really close. Now, you could argue that game against Morgan was somewhat close, a 24-13 victory for Snow Canyon, but Desert Hills gave them all they could handle last week. In fact, they limited the best offense in the Warriors to only 7 points in that second half and barely ended up losing by a single score. It came down to the wire. And so the Warriors learned to handle a little bit of adversity, which they haven't had to do much of this year. So we got 2 squads who both grow and learn week by week, and it's going to come down to the wire out there.
Some scores of note around the state, and then we'll get back to Region 9. Last night, Corner Canyon, the number 1 ranked team in 6A, the best football team, almost a junior college. That's how good they are. They beat Lone Peak 35-25. Corner Canyon hasn't lost a football game since 2017.
Wow.
That's a lot of wins in a row. Yeah, the 2-time defending state champions.
Since 2017.
Yeah, been 3 years since they've lost a football game. I think that the last loss was the state championship game in 2017. That's the last time they lost. East is beating Bingham 14-7. Bingham they were below 500 until last week. They could dip back down below 500 if they lose to East. That's a good ball game there. Getting back down to the 4A classification. We'll go around the state. Stansbury 42-0 over Ben Lomond. Park City got their hands full with Mountain View. It's 18-14. The Miners leading the Bruins. Ogden, coming out of nowhere. Ogden used to be the laughing stock of football. They've got a good team this year. They're actually in the rankings, and they lead Uinta 14-0. Cedar Valley over Tooele 13-0. Up in Region 11, that's the Logan region. Bear River leading Green Canyon 7-0. Ridgeline all over Logan 24-0. And the undefeated and defending state champion Skyview Bobcats, they lead Mountain Crest by a count of 14-0. Let's do Region 9 scores now. We mentioned already Dixie with 21 straight with a minute left in the half. They lead Snow Canyon 21-20. Desert Hills right now with a 20-6 lead over the Hurricane Tigers. Does that surprise you at all?
Yeah, I mean, you said 26-21?
20-6.
Oh, 22-6. Okay, yeah, and honestly, no, that doesn't surprise me at all. We know Desert Hills is such a talented team, and in fact, the point that they only have 1 win this year is absolutely mind-boggling. We know the Thunder are much more capable of that, and they're going to be one of those sleeper teams you're going to want to watch because due to the RPI format, everybody gets a playoff game, right? Everybody has a chance to prove themselves in the postseason, and Desert Hills is one of those squads who you could see in the second, the third rounds once the playoffs start because they do have talent, and really they're starting to figure things out for the first time in a while, and they're trying to get that confidence build up against a Hurricane Tiger squad who's had a rough go of things as of late.
Well, and let's be honest, look at who they have lost to. Desert Hills has lost 5 games. They lost to Alta, big 5A school. They lost to Spanish Fork, a 5A school. They lost to Pineview, Dixie, and Snow Canyon. Talk about a tough region schedule. Yeah, they're 0-3 in region, but you look at what they have ahead. Hurricane, Cedar, Canyon View, and Crimson Cliffs. They could conceivably win all 4 of those games.
Yeah, they could, and they've already played through the toughest stretch, right? This is where they've already learned the most about themselves. Unlike, for example, Snow Canyon, you kind of start out with the easier region games, and now you get into the heat of things, and this is where you really test yourself. Desert Hills already knows what they're capable of and what they can do, and now they get to perfect that against opponents who they can win or who they'll be favored against. So that's big for the Desert Hills Thunder, and I look forward to seeing them throughout the rest of the season because they are one of those sleeper teams who can end up being quite dangerous, especially when they get healthy. Let's not forget they're missing running backs, they're missing defenders, they're missing players all around the board, and now finally they're getting healthy, they're getting confident, and they're going to be a fun team to watch.
I would say this: I would want to face them in the playoffs.
No, absolutely not.
They're going to get on a roll against these lesser teams in the region, and they're going to be a good football team. They put 12 on the clock. We're almost ready for the second half. One last score for you. It is Cedar 29 and Canyon View 16. That game at the half. A lot of points in the first half. Not surprised, though. Cedar, very talented team.
Cedar is a very talented team, and in fact, Canyon View themselves, I mean, between the 2 Garrett boys out there in Iron County for the Reds and then for the Falcons, we know both of them are capable of putting up points. And the Reds are so fascinating to me because they'll have moments where they compete with Dixie, where they absolutely stomped Crimson Cliffs, where they hang with good teams for a little while, and then there are moments where they struggle. When they're on, and they're going to be a team like Desert Hills who you're going to want to pay attention down to the stretch. They're still trying to finalize some things, come into their own. We know they have plenty of talent and are capable of hanging with some of the better teams here in Region 9, and just because they don't live in the St. George area doesn't mean we can forget about them. Cedar's going to be a tough out for anybody.
All right, let's do this. Let's take one more timeout. We'll take a 2-minute break. Be back with the second half as they had to reset that clock. You remember, you got to get that 3-minute re-warm-up period before halftime. So we'll take a 2-minute timeout. Be back with the second half kickoff. Pineview leading at 14-0. We are at Pineview High School. The Panthers at 5-1 and 3-0 in region. The Crimson Cliffs Mustangs come in with a 3-2 record. They are 2-1 in region play after a 10-7 win at Hurricane last week. Can the Mustangs win 2 in a row? Well, they're going to have to climb out of a hole. It's 14-0 here at the break. What do the Mustangs have to do? I guess the number one thing would be to stop Pineview on this first drive.
Yeah, stopping Pineview on the first drive is going to be the biggest component first and foremost, because we know the Panthers are going to come out. There's a reason they wanted the ball to start the third quarter here. They're determined to prove something. And then on the offensive side, you got to stick with that run game. I know nothing's worked out really the way you want. Creed Leonard, 7 carries, 11 yards, but he's so critical to getting the offense rolling.
They kick the ball deep, and it goes to McKenzie. He tries to handle it, and it goes out of bounds. Did he touch it? Apparently he did, and it's going to be Pineview ball back at their 8-yard line. McKenzie's so excited about making a return, and apparently he couldn't. It didn't look like to me he touched it. I don't know, but
yeah, and right now, I mean, Don McKenzie's got to be in an interesting headspace at the moment. I mean, he's a superstar, the best receiver statistically in Utah 4A right now. As actually, there is a flag on the play, AG, that's going to move the Panthers forward. Good field position. They're going to start on the 35.
Did not see the penalty. Maybe, you know what they're saying? He did not touch it. So instead
gotcha.
of the 8, it's going to be the 35, and that's where Pineview will start. Bunnell, the quarterback, with twin wideouts to either side. Looks to pass. Throws it deep over the middle and overthrew Mann. Mann was pretty open on the slant. Bunnell got chucked, by the way, after the pass. And it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and I mean, for the Mustangs right now, you smile when you see that. Bunnell's a guy who's been well protected all season long. Mustangs have struggled to get penetration in the backfield, and they've been able to sack him once, knock him to the ground a couple times, and right there, he's overthrown a couple of receivers at the moment. So he hasn't got going completely yet. 2nd
down and 10. They hand it to Lung Choi, trying for the corner, and there is nothing there. Great defensive effort by first of all, you hear that phrase, set the edge, and they set the edge. He could not get to the corner. There was no corner, and Crimson Cliffs will force a 3rd down and 11.
No, and it was Marley Salino Sagapolu right there who was chasing him down in hot pursuit. Didn't allow him to really slow down and wait for things to come to him or open up. He had to go, and Salapolo with a massive tackle.
Again, cover 2 for the Mustangs. Here comes the penetration. Bunnell steps away from one man, looking, throws the ball downfield. It's caught by Mann. He takes a big hit, but hangs on. However, before we get too excited, there is a yellow marker, yellow hanky in the backfield.
Yeah, and I think it's coming back. It is holding on Pineview. And it was easy to see. It was the same exact player who made the tackle on the previous play, Marley Salinahu Sagapolu, who got into the backfield. In fact, the tackle and guard both had the assignment of blocking him, and he was able to slip through both of them.
Yeah. By the way, in that Snow Canyon-Dixie game, Snow Canyon led 20-0. Dixie scored 3 straight in the second quarter to go up 21-20. Snow Canyon marched all the way down to the 15-yard line with 18 seconds left. Braxton Hickman catches a touchdown pass. They call offensive pass interference and take it away. It's halftime, 21-20. Dixie on top of Snow Canyon. Big 3rd down, 3rd and long, 3rd and 20-something for Pineview. They run a little wide receiver screen out there. It's caught. It'll be a decent game, but not anywhere near the 1st down marker on the pass to Preston Mann.
I don't know if the punt team's put in this much work all year. Maybe in that game against Highland, but they're back out on the field again for the Panthers.
Pickup of about 8 or 9 on 3rd and 25, but now it's 4th and long, and, Frosto is out there to kick. Pineview had it a total of 1 minute and 6 seconds, and Crimson Cliffs did their job. They came out and got the stop.
And when we look at this Mustang squad, holding Hurricane to 7, I mean, you've held teams to 10 this year. They get that offense rolling, they could be a very dangerous threat.
Ball hits on the nose and gets a good Pineview roll. It hit it about the 38 and rolls down to the 26-yard line. And that's going to be a net, let's do the math, 30, 40, 56-yard punt, no return. You got to love that if you're the coaching. And I think Frosto had, a 15-yard punt or a net of 15 earlier in the game. So
yeah,
that's a little better.
And I mean, he's, like we said earlier, this may be the most he's had to actually line up and punt all year, and he's making the most of it.
So Crimson Cliffs will come out. Let's see who's at quarterback. It is actually Hanson. Hanson with a quick throw to the right side, and it's incomplete.
Oh, man. That's 7 of 8 on the year now.
He missed one.
That's his first incompletion of the season for Chase Hanson.
Yeah, I forgot about that stat. That was a cool stat of the first half, and obviously That has gone by the wayside on the incomplete pass. Our game, by the way, brought to you by Scott Gibson team at Intercap Lending. They don't mask their rates or fees. See how much the Scott Gibson team can save you today. Call or text 435-619-8080. 619-8080. Second down and 10 for the Mustangs. Hanson at quarterback. And he's going to run a little QB draw, looking for somewhere to go. He gets across the 25 and out to about the 29-yard line. Not a bad run on 2nd and 10 as he gets about 6.
And it looks like now, Hearst Ace Hardware update, the Thunder of Desert Hills lead Hurricane 27-6. Now the Thunder able to get into the end zone once again.
Right here, it's 14-0. Pineview on top. Crimson Cliffs had to give the ball up to start the second half, but they got to stop right away. The Pineview penalty was part of that, but they do get to stop, and now they've got the ball back on a key 3rd down and 4.
Really hoping to get the offense rolling. We saw a nice little run previously on a draw play for Chase Hansen. Here's a big 3rd down.
And the referee says offsides Pineview. That'll be a 1st down for the Mustangs. He did the little, I don't think quarterbacks should be allowed to do this personally, and I've seen Pineview's quarterback, I've seen several quarterbacks around the region. They come up and they move their hands as if they're supposed to get the ball. Invariably, a defensive guy jumps, and it's a 1st down. I think the quarterback should have to remain still if he's going to simulate the snap and not snap it.
You know, it's interesting. You never really think of the mental side of the game as much, right? The little tricks that go into each and everything, the things linemen do, the things quarterbacks do to try to get the defense to bite or try to get the offense to bite. And right there, it certainly worked for the Mustangs. That's a Fabulous Freddy's 1st down.
Ball now at the 35-yard line. Hanson again wants a QB draw. Goes up the middle, hits the pile, and makes it move. Nice job by Hanson and his lineman as it ends up being about a 5-yard gain right up the middle.
And right now the Mustangs sticking with that ground game, and that's what you want to see. It doesn't matter who's carrying the ball. Hanson, Leonard, Drew Bay, whoever it is, they need to stay consistent on the ground. That's when they're at their best. And in the future, if they do decide to draw back and pass, it's going to be that much better for them because the defense will have become so focused on stopping that run game. It sets up the play action. It sets up a couple different things for this Mustang offense.
Fuel it up, wash it down, and save it to Southern Utah Fabulous Freddy's. And don't forget to splash drink while you're there. Fabulous Freddy's, a great sponsor of 1st downs here. Crimson looking for a 1st down. They hand the ball to Drew Bay, I believe, around the right side, and he'll get 2 or 3 yards before he is cut down at about the 43-yard line.
You know, and it's interesting, correct me if I'm wrong right here, but I don't believe we've seen Creed Leonard on this first drive for the Mustangs.
Not on this drive, no.
I think it's been Hanson. I think it's been Drew Bay, and right now you got to ride with the hot hand. Drew Bay is such a hard runner. He's not afraid of any type of contact. He'll lower his shoulder pads.
I think he's quicker than Leonard.
Yeah, absolutely.
3rd down and 2. Ball at the 43. Got to get it right to the stripe at the 45-yard line. Hanson, the quarterback. Drew Bay, the running back. They've got a slot blocker. It's a quarterback draw. Hanson trying to get outside. Nice cut, and he'll have the 1st down. They had him contained, and he made a beautiful jump cut up into the hole and picked up about 3 yards for a 1st.
You know, and that's why they have this guy doing what he does at the wide receiver spot, kick returner spot, punt returner spot, and now ultimately quarterback. It's because of how crafty and how capable he is of reading defenses, seeing what's there, and making an extra move, whether it's just a quick little jump cut or a spin to try to pick up that extra yardage, and right there it pays off for the Mustangs.
Hey, did you know One Law makes it easy with highly skilled, passionate lawyers? For all your legal needs, make one call to One Law, your dedicated personal attorneys, 634-1LAW, or go to onelaw.com. 1st down and 10. Another Fabulous Freddy's 1st down. Ball handed off. Drew Bay trying to get to the outside. Flag comes flying in as he picks up 8 or 9 yards, but that flag went flying in there, and obviously this one's not going to count.
Yeah, I think we saw 2, both referees, the back judge and then the one standing next to the linebackers, picked up on the same thing.
Most likely a hold, unless I don't know my football, and I know it pretty well. And here comes the signal. There it is, holding on the Mustangs. Spot foul from the 47, looks like. Will be back to the 37, so it'll be 1st down and 18.
Ah, man, and that's tough because right now Crimson Cliffs is moving the football better than they have all game. Penalties like that kill momentum, there's no doubt about it. But if you look at the Nets on Fire clock, 7 minutes, 37 seconds over there. I mean, this has been the Pineview's only had the ball once. It was a 3 and out, and now you've only had the ball once. And in a 2-possession game, it's not a bad idea for things to move a tiny bit quicker, and a play like that certainly backs you up and hurts you in a couple different ways.
First down and 19 for the Mustangs. Pineview shows blitz. Quarterback Hansen wants to throw, looks to the right side, swings it out to his running back. He's uncovered. Caught at the 40, out to the 45, and moves it ahead to the 47-yard line. The pile still going before they finally blow the whistle. Nice play, though, out there on the swing pass to guess who? Creed Leonard. There's been a Creed Leonard sighting.
And, I really like how they utilize him there. We think of him as someone who gets the ball in the backfield, puts his shoulders down, and tries to go between the guard and tackle. Right there, they utilize him out of the backfield,
and by the
it
way,
pays big dividends.
Another flag over there on the far sideline.
Oh, good eye.
As the white hat will come out and say face mask on Pineview, and that should be enough for – now, he didn't do personal foul face mask, so it's just a 5-yard penalty. So how about that? You run a swing pass for about 10 yards, and then you get an extra 5 tacked on, and you get the down over. So you went from 1st and 19. It's going to be first down and about 4.
I take back everything I said about that throwing off any momentum. Giving right back right now for the Mustangs.
They actually moved the down marker to second. They shouldn't have. It should still be first down. And the ball off. Leonard is tripped up. He'll crawl forward and try to keep his knee off the ground and gain about a yard on the crawl.
That's a shoestring tackle from number 44, Kyler Hunt. Great extra effort, reaching out, tripping up the ball carrier. If Leonard could have got away from him, it was kind of a one-on-one situation. He could have picked up at least maybe 5-10 more yards, if not more. And Kyler Hunt reaching out, making a big play, his first tackle of the ball game.
I'm curious. The referees didn't pick up on it on a face masking penalty. You get the yards and the penalty and the down again. They actually changed the down marker. It says third down, and maybe the referee's going to talk about that now. As he comes walking in there, I think it should be second down and 3, and they have third down showing on the down marker. Because on the face mask, it's one of the weirdest penalties in football, but if you get a face mask and don't get a first down, you get the play played over again no matter what. Down. So you get the yards, the penalty, and the down. And so it should be second down and 3. Mustangs down 14 to the Panthers here on Pineview's homecoming, trying to get down the field and get a score. They have not sniffed the red zone.
In fact, this is the first time the Mustangs have been in Pineview territory.
They do change the down marker, so, they figured it out. Awesome. Way to go, White Hat. It is second down and 3, not third. And now Coach Hosner wants to know what the heck's going on. But, sorry, Haas, this time the referees got it right. That face masking penalty is just a repeat of the down. So we actually had 3 first downs in this one, all on one series. There was the holding, and there was the then face mask, which gained yards plus penalty. And now you've got second down and 3. See if there's any score updates as we check our scoreboard. Last we heard, Dixie and Snow Canyon were at the half, 21-20. It looks like they are still at the half. They'll be coming back to live play here shortly.
And it is official in the Battle of Iron County. It's halftime with the Reds up 36-16.
Ooh, 36 in them, 1 half. Wow. Here we are back to live play. Second down and 3 for the Mustangs. Quarterback simulates a snap again. No call. Now they hand the ball off. That's Drew Bay. Drew Bay fights through and emerges with the first down at the 43-yard line. Another fabulous Freddy's first down.
And it's just so fun to watch him. He's never afraid to lower his shoulder pads, but he's also slippery. And that's a combination that's kind of rare to come by, and really why he's getting the majority of the carries here in the second half as he runs to the sideline is because right there he was able to slip between the guard and the tackle, pick up a couple extra yards. Crimson moves a little further into Pineview territory. Furthest they've been all ball game, down 14-0.
Ball at the 43, 5:40 left in the third quarter. Crimson trying to gut one out here. Hansen hands the ball off, trying to get outside as Leonard. Leonard with a nice cut at the 44, gets it inside the 40. Looked like they had him really tied up in the end, and he made another good cut. Creed Leonard, I think, maybe his best run of the game.
Yeah, it really is. And Collison had got into the backfield. He had sneaked back there and was trying to bring the ball carrier down for a loss. Leonard had a nice little quick right stiff arm, pushed him off, was able to create enough separation to fight forward for a handful more yards.
So second down and 5 after the 5-yard run. He had, I think it was 10 yards in the first half total on 7 carries. So already 1/3 more yardage for Creed Leonard. It'll be second down and 5.
And they need him right now. He's still in the ball game, lined up to the left of the quarterback, Hansen.
Hanson gives to Leonard. Leonard squeezes through a little hole, and we'll have a yard or two. And the referees need to blow those whistles because we got a big scrum going on. Sometimes I think they're a little late in blowing those whistles on those scrums, and that's when guys get hurt, in my opinion. I wish they'd blow those just a little earlier there, Rustin.
Yeah, and it's, you see it in all levels of football, right? As we have a flag down, Mustangs are moving back.
Dead ball, he said. The down will count. There must have been a personal foul, huh?
Had to have been. That's tough.
So with all the penalties and the 3 first downs in the last series and everything, they're going to face a 3rd down and very long now. It's a personal foul. Didn't see it. I don't know if you saw anything, Rusty.
I didn't, but the referee certainly did, and now the Mustangs will pay for it.
So instead of 3rd and a couple, it's going to be 3rd down and 16, 17, 18, right in there.
The Mustangs haven't had a play all game that's been close to 16 yards, so it's going to be interesting to see what they call up here to try to pick up this first. This was the furthest they've been all game, and with 4 minutes, 35 seconds on our clock, they need something to happen pretty quick.
And they're back on the minus side of the 50. Hanson wants to throw, looking down the middle. Here comes the pressure. He's going to go down. Pineview gets a sack. Couple of defenders there. Who got there first, Russ?
Looks like Atonu.
So there's the sack, and looks like the Mustangs, despite the promising drive, are going to have to punt this one away.
Yeah, everything fell apart right there at the end. Everything was looking great. Crimson Cliff seemed like they had figured something out and were able to chip away at that Pineview defense slowly but surely, and then Pineview breaks through for a massive play. This is a defense who honestly has really won the majority of battles they've gone against. You look at that Canyon game where the Falcons scored 27, all that was in garbage time. You look you look at the game against the Cedar Reds, a lot of those scores were in garbage time. Like, Pineview has done a fantastic job against these squads.
They kick away from Mann, who is back to return the punt, and it will get a nice crimson roll. End up being about 37 plus 7, 44-yard punt, no return. That's a good net yardage there for the crimson punter.
Big punt, and we know that the Panthers are no stranger to moving down the ball down the field once they get tough field position. They've already had a 98-yard drive this game that resulted in a score.
I would say, Rustin, right now, this is the drive of the game. If Pineview goes down and scores, I don't see Crimson being able to score 21 points and catch up. If Crimson can get a stop, they should get great field position. First down. Quarterback is Chuck, but not until he hands the ball off, and they're off to the races, to the 40, to the 50, to the 40. It's a foot race to the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Pineview, a big touchdown run for Douglas Lungchoy.
Lungchoy, it all happened because of the play fake. Crimson Cliffs, make no mistake, they got into the backfield. Bunnell was smacked.
Oh, yeah.
They thought he had the football, and Lungchoy broke free, and the rest was all up to his feet. Fantastic foot speed into the end zone. What is that, an 80-yard touchdown scamper?
Yeah, well, let me look and see if I can get the original line of scrimmage, but definitely a long TD run by Lungchoy, and it was a foot race. Nobody actually touched him. The quarterback took the abuse on that one, and it ended up being a big touchdown run. Did I hear a whistle? Yeah, they're going to stop play for 1 second.
And there is a flag down. False start, number 58 for the Pineview Panthers. This extra point's going to be a little bit further out for the team that's up 20-0.
I don't think that matters to Frosto at all.
Nah.
Let's see if we can get the original line of scrimmage on that one. To punt to 13-yard line, so 87-yard run for Doug Lungchoy.
How about that? And, when you look at his statistics, at least on Desert News, as we're going back even further right now, another flag down.
Yeah.
But you look at him, it says that he's averaging about 10 yards a carry. He doesn't touch the ball a ton when all the running backs are healthy, but when he does, he makes the most of it. I'd say 87 yards on one carry is definitely making the most of it on that drive.
Extra point a little bit longer. Frosto gets it up, and it's good anyway, despite the couple of penalties. And with 3:28 left in the third quarter on our one-loss scoreboard, it is Pineview now 21 and Crimson Cliffs nothing. Douglas Lung Choi is his name. He's a senior running back. He's kind of been relegated to second or third string duties, but I'll tell you what, he just outraced everybody. I thought they were going to catch him, but Lung Choi shows the wheels. He gets an 87-yard touchdown run. Now 9 carries, 123 yards, averaging robust 13.7 yards per carry.
Yeah, and we know that Lung Choi, he was one of our picks for the Stilson Star Watch when we began this game. We knew that with no Takao and with no Jordan, he was going to get a bulk of the carries, and he has made the absolute most of it. Fantastic run. The Sports Clip Star Watch was Douglas Lung Choi, and he's definitely proving why we picked him there.
Yeah, sometimes we get lucky on those Star Watch picks, but I really felt like Lung Choi was going to be a key in this game with Takao and Jordan both out. Kickoff by Kogan goes into the end zone for a touchback, and just like that, a 14-0. We mentioned Crimson Cliffs getting down inside the 40-yard line. Looked like they were threatening maybe to make it a one-score game. A punt and one play later, and all of a sudden it feels like a blowout.
You know, we talked about it earlier on that drive before Lung Choi went for 87 yards into the end zone, how essential it was going to be for the Mustangs to get a stop, because with the offense struggling the way it has, a 2-possession game felt like it was a 3-possession game, and now a 3-possession game feels like it's about a 4 or 5-possession game. And the Mustangs will have 3 minutes, 28 seconds here in the third to try to get into the end zone for the first time tonight.
And Tyler Brown back in at quarterback. He runs a swing pass out there to Scott to the 20 to the 23-yard line. I believe that was Drew Bay on the catch.
I think it was Creed Leonard for a couple yards.
Okay, yep. Little interchangeable running backs there.
Collison made the tackle tonight.
Gain of just 3 yards, though. 2nd down and 7 for the Mustangs. Again, they do whateve they can now. You've got to get points on this drive. No time to waste anymore.
No, absolutely not. And, you know, that's tough because the last drive that the Mustangs had, that took about 8-9 minutes off the clock, and they only made it to about Pineview's 48-yard line.
They did get inside the 40, but then 2 penalties brought it back. Now a handoff up the middle. I believe Leonard on the carry. In a pile of players. We'll get a couple of yards. Yeah, Creed Leonard on the carry. Maybe out to the 25.5, so a big 3rd down coming up. By the way, total offense on our Wilkinson stat line. Pineview now with 272. Crimson Cliffs only 140 yards.
And they went into half with 105 yards.
Yeah, 35 in the 3rd quarter as we got about 2 minutes left. Big, I mean, this is must convert here, 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, this is a must-have situation for the Mustangs.
Brown is the quarterback. And he hands it off to Leonard. Leonard hits the pile, and he's going to get a 1st down. Pineview expecting pass, I think, and they just ran a straight option read from the spread formation, and Creed got the 1st down.
Yeah, right there. There is beauty and simplicity. You don't need anything flashy. You don't need anything big. Give it to your star tailback and let him go to work. Right there, Creed Leonard bouncing off a couple guys before picking up the fabulous Freddie's 1st down.
By the way, all kicks in this game were brought to you by Simply Wisdom Teeth. Always a great low price of $899 to get all 4 wisdom teeth pulled, and that includes sedation. They've got over 400 5-star reviews at simplywisdomteeth.com. Trying to get outside, hustling to the corner is Creed Leonard, but he is not going to make it. Credit the pursuit of this Pineview defense.
That's Gifford again. He has been everywhere. Anytime a ball carrier's bounced to the outside, Gifford, the defensive lineman, seems to be right there. No, it's hard to find someone who plays with the same amount of passion and hustle that Gifford does for this Pineview Panthers defense.
It might be a little foreshadowing of our Dats Trucking player of the game, the way Gifford is really covering ground in this football game.
Yeah, he's been so good for this Panthers defense, especially on a night where we knew they would need a little something extra with no Takao and no Jordan.
Yeah, Gifford is basically playing Takao's position tonight.
Yeah.
2nd down and long. Long throw by Brown. Man coverage out there. The ball is caught. Great grab on the sideline. Good effort put in there, and the catch is made by Eaton, I believe.
Yeah, just a fantastic job. There was a little bit of hand fighting going on, a little bit of checking. TJ Francis, Pineview star cornerback, was out there on the coverage, and Brown absolutely slung that. He stepped up in the pocket and delivered a strike where only his guy could catch it in tight coverage. There's nothing wrong with Francis's defense on that play. He just delivered a strike, and the receiver coming down with it. That's Crimson Cliff's best play of the ballgame.
Absolutely. So 1st down and 10 is there at the Pineview 40-yard line. Got to score now. No doubt about it. Down 3 touchdowns. Hand off to Leonard up the middle, and Pineview contains it. Short gain of 3 or 4 yards right up the gut for Creed Leonard.
I know it's only a 3-4 yard gain right there for Leonard, but you can start to see him slowly get some of his confidence back in this ball game. They've gone back to him, and those pickups have gone from 1 and 2 yards to 3 and 4 yards, and hopefully here Crimson Cliffs is hoping that'll end up in 5, 6, 7 yard gains like we know he's capable of.
By the way, I want to correct myself. That was Jackson Ritchie with that great catch along the sideline. And second down now, about 6.5 yards to go for Crimson. Tyler Brown now the quarterback. Gives to Leonard. Leonard is contained in the backfield. First man there for Pineview is number 57, Rick Muale. Did I say that right?
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway, he got there before Creed could even get going. That'll bring up a third down and long.
And it seems like every time the Mustangs have a big play or something goes their way, this Pineview Panthers defense stiffens and ends up making them pay for having a big play. They're like, oh, you had a 16-yard pass? Well, we're going to make sure you go nowhere after this. It's a Panthers defense who adjusts incredibly well on the go.
That's the end of the third quarter. The only touchdown, Pineview was able to get one in on a long run by Doug Lung Choi. We'll be back after this timeout, 21-0 Panthers. Welcome back, Andy and Rustin live from Pineview High School. Panthers leading at 21-0. Crimson Cliffs trying to put something together. They've got a third down and 10 from the 40-yard line. Tyler Brown to pass. Runs a little screen. It's complete to Creed Leonard. Leonard will get close to the marker. He is hit. Nice tackle made by Pineview one-on-one, and I believe it's going to be about a half yard short of a first down.
Yeah, and it's a no-brainer right now. The Mustangs will go for this. You're the furthest you've been into Pineview territory all night. It's fourth down and about a yard, and you're trailing 21-0. This is definitely one of those situations where we see Brown stay out.
First down marker is just on the outside of the 40. The ball is just on the inside of the 41. It's maybe, 18 inches for a first down is all they need.
Do you go back to Leonard here?
I think you do. You come out in the spread and you try to run something up the gut. They're going to have a pretty much full house as much as you can get in the spread formation, and now a flag on the play. Might have got a timeout before the penalty. Let's see what the official is going to rule. It's either going to be 4th and a half or 4th and 5.5, depending on if they got the timeout before the penalty. As the side judge over on that side will talk to the white hat, and he may pick up the flag and say no. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. Timeout on the field instead of a penalty. So we will take the timeout. Right now, 21-0, 11 minutes left in the ball game. We'll be back right after this 45-second break. All right, welcome back. We come back just out of the timeout. They go with a quick handoff to Leonard, and Leonard will have the first down as he gets inside the 30 and down to about the 26-yard line. I think Pineview kind of playing a little soft there, saying, all right, you know what, we've got to protect against the pass, and he had a lot of room to roam on a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, no, Tyler Brown wasn't even in the ball game during that snap. He just ran back off the sideline. So Crimson Cliffs throwing a couple different looks right there at Pineview. And with a fresh set of downs, let's see what they can drum up here on the 25-yard line.
They have not been inside the Team Diato red zone. They run a swing pass out there, and that ball is incomplete. I'm not sure why they're fighting for the football. It was clearly a forward pass. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and Brown trying to set up Creed Leonard there. They had attempted a screen pass earlier on the drive up the right side that ended up working. There he looks for his tailback again, and Leonard took an absolute pop. It was a big hit right there.
By the way, NBA playoff game tonight. It's the Heat and Celtics, and the Heat up 3-1, but it looks like there will be a game 6 as Boston, well, it's the end of the 3rd quarter, but Boston leads by 9.
Of course, Tyler Hero ended up taking over in that last game.
Yeah,
and Boston looking for their own savior right now.
2nd down and 10 after the incompletion. Brown looking left, throws it out there. Ball is nearly picked off. As Pineview was the only player was a McKenzie. Marcus McKenzie had a chance at the pick, and the ball a little high and hard. He couldn't hold it. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, he was initially looking for Gunnar Orr first and foremost, and that ball was so above the head of Orr that McKenzie happened to be the only person in the area. And even for Marcus McKenzie, it was a little high.
No score update on Snow Canyon and Dixie. Last we heard 21-20 at half. Dixie coming from 20-0 down to take the lead. 3rd down and 10 here for Crimson Cliffs. 4-down territory for sure with 10:39 left. Brown looking left. Here comes the pressure. He's going to run away from it. And he is caught from behind. Looked like he had room to roam, Rustin.
Guess who it is?
Somebody grabbed it. Is it Gifford?
It's
again?
Gifford.
Wow. Making a case for our player of the game for sure.
He has been fantastic. The heart and soul of this defense tonight with no Enoch Takao, who normally fills that role. He has stepped up in a big, big way. He's been fun. He's been all over the field. It doesn't matter if you're bouncing to the outside, going up the middle, trying to escape the pocket. Number 62 has been right in the vicinity.
Not technically a sack because the quarterback gained a yard, but it does bring up a big 4th down and 9 from the 25. Brown back to pass. Throws a little screen to the left side, and Pineview read it, and that's going to be a loss of yardage. And the Panthers will take over on downs. Another great play on defense.
Yeah, this defense is excited. And, you know, as you watch these players right here, don't think that they don't take pride in trying to pitch a shutout. 21-0 at the moment. They hold strong on a big 4th down. And, in fact, a lot of credit has to go right there to big number 71. And that was Peter Falanico getting up the middle. Forced Brown to probably try to set up that pass a little earlier than he wanted to and went for no gain.
And sniffing out the screen was Rick Muai and Tasi Loloatai. And Pineview will take over with a 3-touchdown lead and 9:45 on the clock. Bunnell hands off. No, he keeps it himself, trying to get to the outside, cuts it upfield and slides and says, all right, I see all those white jerseys. I'm just going to hit the deck. Braden Bunnell will pick up about, 5 yards? 4
Yeah,
yards?
about 5 yards. And, I mean, in about 4 or 5 rushes tonight, I mean, they've been effective. 3-yard, 4-yard pickups when they need them most, including a touchdown. Pineview's first score of the night.
By the way, Snow Canyon has retaken the lead in the 3rd quarter. Bunnell throws it over the middle. Ball is caught. Nice grab. Right over the middle, and making the catch is Marcus Kemp. Is that right, number 1?
Yeah, that is Marcus Kemp. That's his first catch of the night and really one of Bunnell's bigger throws downfield.
That was just a simple post pattern over the middle, in between defenders. Good throw, good catch. 1st down and 10, Pineview at the 48-yard line. Panthers feel like they have a little rhythm now. Bunnell fakes a Lung Choi, looks deep over the middle, throws it in traffic. What a catch! No, he can't hold it. Oh, he had it going to the ground, but as his body impacted the ground, Moten could not hold on.
Oh, man, and he went up. That ball was certainly at his highest point. Looked like he had it corralled, and when he hit the ground, I don't know, it might have been the impact because it looked like he had it secured for a second, but the impact of the ground may have jarred that ball loose, rolled off his foot, was kicked up into the air, and ruled incomplete.
2nd down and 10. By the way, Landon Fry to Wesley Tuanu'u. 7-yard touchdown, 2-point conversion good. Warriors 28, Dixie 21. Hand off to, was that Lung Choi?
It was.
On the carry on the left side. We'll get about 4. That'll bring up a manageable 3rd down and 6 for the Panthers with 8:45 left in the game.
You know, I'll tell you one thing I noticed right now, AG, is Pineview is playing with a little bit of that swagger that we've seen in those games where they put up big points. It's late in the 4th, but they're starting to look a little more in rhythm as the Mustang defense gets a little more tired.
Kemp goes in motion on 3rd down and 6. Now twin wide receivers to either side. Bunnell straight drop. looking for room. He throws it in traffic, and it should have probably been caught. As good as the receivers have been for Pineview, that one actually hit Moten in a bad spot right in the hands.
Yeah, it's Kainohi, Kainohi, who was able to knock that ball down to the turf. Incomplete, and Pineview will bring out the punt squad once again. 8 minutes, 19 seconds in a 21-0 game.
Yeah, you don't want to let a team back into a game by going for it here. Pineview likes to go on fourth down. Coach Hauser's famous for that. But in this situation, up 3 touchdowns, you don't want to give them hope. See if you can pin them down deep right here.
Well, and your defense just forced a turnover on downs. Anytime the Mustangs have had a big play or a relatively decent play, Pineview has stepped up, rose to the occasion, and stifled them from there. So you trust your defense wholeheartedly. Punting is definitely the right move here.
Frosto gets a boot into it, kicks it along the sideline. It bounces inside the 10-yard line, actually right at the 10. So good punt by Frosto, a net of about 36 yards. But the most important thing is you got the Crimson Cliffs, who really hasn't done much on offense, back at their own 10-yard line.
You know, and it's interesting right now to me for the Mustangs. Of course, they announced they were going to make the quarterback change. They were looking for a little bit more spark offensively. And your last couple possessions, even though Chase Hansen seems healthy once again, you have him back out at the wide receiver spot. So this is the moment in the game where you really just try to find something that works. I mean, you're down, 8 minutes left. You can still make it a ball game potentially, but here's where you work on those things that you can look forward to next week.
First play, a handoff right up the middle. I don't know if that's Leonard or Drouet. We'll see in a second as the scrum moves, and it's going to be a nice gain of 7 or 8 yards. I think Pineview at this point defensively, they're in contain mode. You're up 3 touchdowns with 7:57 left. You just don't want to give up a big play.
Yeah, they'll let the Mustangs march all the way down the field, I'm sure, but every single Pineview player is going to be protecting that goal line. They ain't going to give up a score, or they don't want to give up a score, no doubt. But, I mean, they'll give up more of those quick yardage plays, let the Mustangs wind the clock down, and as long as they keep them out of the end zone, they're happy.
Quarterback Brown to throw, throws the corner pattern and just overthrew his man a little bit, able to get one hand on it on the play for Crimson is Trace Higgins. And it'll be third down.
Third down for the Mustangs. And we don't have the exact statistics on how well they've converted that, but most of the third downs, I believe, have some of them come from penalties, but I think only 2 that I can remember have actually been Crimson Cliffs conversions.
They have 6 by run, 3 by pass, and 1 by penalty in this game.
Wow.
For a total of just 10 first downs. They're 4 of 11 on third downs and 1 of 2 on fourth. Big 3rd and 4 here from their own 16 or so. Hand it off and making his way just across the 20 for a first down is the running back Leonard.
That's going to be close.
I think he got it.
Yeah. No, you're right. They're moving the chains. And that's fun. Back-to-back possessions, AG, where they decide on 3rd and about 5, 3rd and about 6 to give it to the tailback, and he's picked it up both times.
Total offense in this game, 298 for Pineview. Crimson Cliff still under 200, but close, 194 right now. Clock winding, 7:14 to go. Crimson doesn't seem like maybe at this point they're thinking about winning this game so much as establishing a little momentum.
Yeah.
Hand off and running it hard right up the middle for about 10, 11, 12 yards is the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs. That I believe is Leonard on the carry.
You know, and Leonard right there, he took a shot from Ian Becker. He came in, put his shoulder down, and tried to stop him where he stood, and he ran right through it. It's good to see that even in the fourth quarter with your team down 3 possessions, he's still running hard. That's the type of player he is.
Cade Clark in on the tackle eventually, and it's another first down. Fabulous Freddy's first downs for the Mustangs. Ball now at the 32-yard line. Brown, the quarterback, hands it on the outside, and Pineview's all over that one. Play, I believe Tossie Lolatai on the tackle, and that's going to be a loss of about 4 yards back to the 29. Man, give him 3 yards. Loss of 3, 2nd and 13.
You know, and he's one of those guys originally when we were talking pregame, we were worried might be out.
They said, they said they didn't know if he's going to play, but he's making plays, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's kept that defense anchored, him and Gifford, with the loss of Takao and Jordan. He's been one of those key components.
No turnovers, by the way, in this game by either team. Tyler Brown back to pass, wants a deep ball, double coverage out there. The ball is just barely tipped away. Did he get a hand on it, or was it just dropped? I think it was. I think he got a hand on it, but There is a flag, by the way, back at the line of scrimmage.
And you know what? I really like that deep shot downfield for the Mustangs. It was double coverage. 2 defensive backs were there, including Francis, who was able to get up. But that was a catchable ball at one point. He had a moment to bring that down.
We'll wait for them to sort out the penalty. The intended receiver on the play for Crimson Cliffs was number 45, Selleck Richardson, obviously with good wheels. What's it called, Rustin? Did you see it yet?
I can't tell yet. It looks like he's about to come announce it right now. I think it's going definitely downfield in favor of the Mustangs.
Oh, they're going to say a helmet-to-helmet shot. So that'll be 15 yards and a first down. They did not eject anybody. But it is a 15-yard penalty against Pineview. A first down and 10. Mustangs at the 44. That is their second by penalty in this game.
Tell you what, that Mustang crowd over there is really hoping to get something. They showed up well here tonight.
Yeah, good group. In fact, my wife came at halftime to film the marching band with my daughter, and she couldn't find a parking spot. And Leonard gets a carry, but right away he's met head on. Great defensive effort.
That's Rick Mouet, yeah. Mouet, he's been good tonight. He's been another one of those pieces like Gifford who just, and I mean, his defense is fantastic on a week-to-week basis, but he has definitely helped ease the loss of those 2 players. I just feel like everyone on this Pineview defense has rose to the occasion.
And Mouai got there right a split second after the football was handed off to Leonard. He had no chance.
Yeah. Ends
up losing 4 yards. Second down, or is it third down and 11? Or did they just give him a good spot? Oh, we'll wait and see here. 5:10 left in the ball game. And again, Crimson happy with running the ball as Creed Leonard will carry it, but he'll get a yard and that's it. And they'll bring up third down.
Third down coming up. And I mean, Tyler Brown took a deep shot earlier on this possession. Ended up trying to go deep downfield, and that was incomplete. But that's what's hard right now about this Mustang squad is some of Brown's passes have been spot on. Some of Hansen's passes have been spot on, but they've had a hard time not only catching the football but also deciding, where to go after the fact once they make the grab. So it's those things that they're trying and hoping that will come around as the season progresses, because we know these receivers are more than capable, and a lot of looks have been there for the Mustangs.
Third down, about 9. Brown back to pass. Nothing there on the right side. He's going to scramble. He throws it over the middle. Pass is caught, and that's going to be a first down. Nice scramble, and the receiver just kind of felt his way into the open field. Pineview will push him down, but not until he gets down to about the 36-yard line, and that's a first down and 10 for the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs.
That's Chase Hansen on the catch. Brown rolling out to the right and finding his man. That's Hansen's first grab of the night. Started at quarterback, got injured for a second, comes back in, and that's why they love him in that position.
By the way, we've got a 100-yard rusher here, Doug Lung Choi, and in that Snow Canyon game, Bretton Stone, 16 carries, 179 yards already. 28-21 Snow Canyon leads.
He had such a good game against Desert Hills, ended up with the game-winning touchdown.
Brown to pass, he's in trouble, looking to dance and get away, and he will not, as 3 Pineview Panthers will drag him down, and they actually give him a good spot up to the 41. He is down back at the 44, but forward progression to the 41 will bring up second down and long.
Yeah, I counted a couple different Panthers in on the pile. Right there is Lolatai as well as big number 57, Mouai, who are in there.
Wow, he is having a game. Now, without his mates, Takao and Jordan, you think, all right, somebody's got to step up, and Mouai has been phenomenal.
Absolutely, and like we discussed earlier, the Mustangs got this ball with about 9 minutes left on the clock. We're down to 3 minutes as the clock continues to tick. Panthers content to let them run it out themselves.
Brown back to pass, looking deep left side. Man, no double coverage out there. The ball is overthrown, and a flag is down. And we may have us a pass interference.
It's going to be a tough call because that ball did look high. The question is, was it catchable?
Looked like it was overthrown a bit, but he was a lot closer than us, Rustin, on that play, so we'll take his word for it.
Very true, very true.
28-21, by the way, over at Snow Canyon. Warriors leading by 7 after they got a touchdown on a 2-point conversion to start the second half. They're halfway through the third quarter. Not sure what the delay was at halftime because we had an extra long halftime.
Yeah.
They actually had an extra long halftime. I don't know if there was, I don't know. I'm sure Devin will fill us in later. It is pass interference on Pineview, so the ball will go down to the 26. There's only three minutes left in this game. I think Crimson Cliffs, it's a moral victory if they can go down and get a touchdown before this thing ends.
Oh, 100%.
Now they run a little reverse, trying to get to the outside. Is a running back. Is that Drew Bay?
No, that's actually carrying it for the first time tonight in the backfield. This number 85, Trey Rockhill.
Oh, Rockhill. We know he's got good wheels. Obviously great basketball player.
Yeah, and so he had one catch in the first quarter that was big for them, and right there, one of their better runs of the night.
Except yellow hanky means a holding penalty, which means Trey's first carry of the game doesn't count.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't count at all.
And that's really the first time the Mustangs have kind of tried to do something a little different there, and ended up working out. And I mean, you only bring it back on yourselves, right? And there's nothing more deflating than that. It's one thing if another team beats you, but it's much more frustrating when you beat yourself. And for Crimson Cliffs, they definitely want to get into the end zone. Their defense has done what only one other team this year has done, and they've held Pineview to 21 points right now. Highland, the only other team who's done that.
Yeah, kind of a good news, bad news. Brown throws it out there. That was a dangerous pass, and he is actually lucky to get that one back. Two Pineview defenders on a quick button hook play, and it was dropped by the defender. That could have been a pick six.
Yeah, Mackenzie and Becker both smiling as Brown let that thing go. They knew they were in prime position. Actually kind of collided somewhat into each other, as well as the receiver, which allowed it to fall incomplete, but fantastic coverage from Mackenzie and Becker.
Hurst Hardware scoreboard update. Cedar now up 43-16 over Canyon View. That one kind of went the way we thought it was going to go. Now, one more touchdown, 50-16.
Get that last one in.
Before I can even say it, they score again. Second down and 15 right now for Crimson. After the hold and the incompletion, quarterback back to pass, throws it deep to the right side and overthrew everybody. It was a deep post, but just a little too much arm on that one.
Yeah, he was looking for Davin Adams. In fact, that's the first time we've really called Davin's name tonight. And for Crimson Cliffs, he's been one of their better receivers on the year. He's got 9 catches, 113 yards up here as we're in Game 7. And first time he's really looked in Davin's direction.
2:41 left on the clock. Pineview 21 and Crimson Cliffs nothing. I don't know. You go moral victories. Well, they held Pineview to 21 points, and that's probably all there's going to be. But they're not interested in that right now. They just want to get something on the board here, down by 3 scores. Brown back to pass. Little pump and go. Ball thrown out there, and it was nearly picked off. Turned his receiver around. He kind of looked like he was lost in the woods on that one.
Yeah, in fact, I'm not entirely sure who he was going for. He had Rockhill out there on the side, as well as, I believe, it's either Drew Bay or Hanson. It looks like Hanson. 2 receivers kind of in the vicinity, and neither of them were really able to go up for it. I don't know if Brown was targeting one, trying to throw it in the area where he had 2. Regardless, it's an incomplete pass, and the Mustangs face a 4th down in Pineview territory.
Yeah, 4th and 15 back at the 31. They've got to get it down to the 16-yard line if they want to keep this drive alive. It is 21-0 Pineview, 2:35 left in the game. Quarterback is Tyler Brown, replacing Hanson, who replaced Brown, who replaced Hanson, and now a timeout taken on the field. We'll take it with it. 2:35 left in the ball game. Pineview on our one-loss scoreboard, leading by a count of 21-0. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Andy Griffin, Rustin Burnside, as Pineview, they've had some offensive masterpieces, 122 points or something in the last 2 weeks, but today the masterpiece has been thrown by this defense playing without Enoch Takau and without Ryan Jordan, their 2 top linebackers. They've been very good.
Yeah, and I mean, for the Panthers, I mean, this is an ideal situation. I know they wanted to put up big points, but this shows you can win ball games both ways.
4th down and 15. Crimson Cliffs maybe their last chance. Quarterback in trouble, and Tyler Brown is going to be thrown down, and that, in effect, is going to end this football game. Mowiai again with the sack. Big number 57 in on the play, and I think we just got ourselves the Dad Trucking Player of the Game award. I don't want to call it early, but boy, Moai has been incredible.
He's been so good, and Lola Tai was in on there as well. It's been awesome to see this Panther defense come together. Every single player seemed to step up in a big way. And right now, you look at them on the sideline, they're thrilled that they just pitched a shutout. They take a lot of pride in that, and they should.
Pineview will run the football, just try to use some clock. A good defensive penetration on the play will keep it from being anything big. A nice tackle. Give credit to Zachary Andrus for making the play. I wonder if he's related to Bronson Andrus and those guys. Nate Andrus might be his dad. I don't know. A lot of Andruses around here.
Very well could be.
One of the best high school baseball players I ever saw was a guy by the name of Nate Andrus. He's the dad here in town, and he and Ryan Bauer from Pineview, he was a Dixie. They took turns hitting balls into the Sun Bowl from the old Elks Field. Phenomenal. Wow. They were on the same Legion team too, and that was a great team. Bunnell throws the ball out there, underthrew his man and incomplete. Tried to get it to Don McKenzie on 2nd down and 10. Now it's 3rd down and 10. Do you dare pass the ball? I know they dare, but do you pass the ball on 3rd down and 10 here?
Only if you're really gunning for the Holbrook Asphalt Big Score dessert, right? You're 4 points away from that, but I don't think so. Crimson Cliffs isn't necessarily feeling themselves. If they get the ball back, they're not going to call 3 timeouts and try to make something happen. But I think Pineview's the type of team who's not afraid to go for it right here. Might as well end the game on your own terms, right?
I think they're going to throw it. 3rd down and 10.
Yep.
Bunnell is going to throw it. Looks left, and Sid throws over the middle. Boy, the ball is caught by Mann, who fumbles it away. Picked up by Crimson. That's either a fumble and a turnover or an incomplete pass. It is a fumble. Mann caught it, had the 1st down, fought for a little extra yardage. And, in the NFL, they probably say incomplete with the replay and all that stuff. But in high school, that's a fumble, and Crimson takes over with 92 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, and give more credit to the Mustangs defense. That's the first turnover of this entire ball game.
Right.
That's the first time we have seen it switch sides due to one team's mistake, and now the Mustangs, with 1:32, will try to avoid the shutout.
Some Hersey's Hardware scoreboard updates. Cedar 50, Canyon View 16, Desert Hills 34, Hurricane 6. Snow Canyon leading 28-21 in the 3rd quarter against Dixie High School. And right here with 1:32 left, Pineview 21 and Crimson Cliffs nothing.
Now it looks like the Warriors actually may have just jumped up 35-21.
Okay. I'll have to check my scoreboard here. They run a little double reverse long pass. They got a guy behind the defense. The catch is made, and Crimson Cliffs might just get themselves a touchdown. They did. Was that Hansen who threw it?
It was Hansen. It was a little trickeration. Brown took the snap. It ended up in Hansen's hands, and he finds Rockhill for the score.
I'm sure Pineview coaches are pretty upset right now with their guys. They look like they're going to run a reverse. Let them run a reverse. Don't get beat deep. They got beat deep.
And they absolutely did. And it was a fantastic pass from Chase Hansen. And you have to recognize that's not an easy throw to make. He wasn't set. He didn't have a drop back. He wasn't throwing off his back foot. He was literally coming off the side from the wide receiver spot, taking a pitch, and then throwing that up there and delivered it perfectly.
1:22 on the clock. Crimson probably not going to win this game, but they've got a little pride there. They got the long TD pass from Hansen to Rockhill. The Simply Wisdom Teeth extra point is up, and that is good. We'll take one last time out here. 1:22 on the clock. And on our one-loss scoreboard, it's now Pineview 21 and Crimson Cliffs 7.
They got one.
1:22 on the clock. I guess if you're Crimson, you got nothing to lose. You try an onside kick here. By the way, I did want to thank some of our great sponsors, including Intermountain Sports Medicine. They provide the trainers for all our Region 9 football games. Tonight from Crimson Cliffs, we've got, let's see, I can't find it here. Anyway, for Pineview, it's Michelle Hudson. Oh, it's Ashley Woolham for Crimson Cliffs. She had her work cut out for her earlier getting Chase Hansen ready to go after he had gotten injured. It looks like she did her job because Hansen threw that touchdown pass.
Absolutely, and it was a fantastic touchdown pass. And now the Mustangs, 2-possession game. They're going to definitely try an onside kick it here and extend this a little bit with 1:22 left in the fourth.
Pineview's got all but one guy within the 5 yards of the line to that the ball has to be kicked to. He was actually practicing onside kicks in the pregame. Let's see if he can come up with a good one. And he actually kicks it deep in our face. McKenzie will run it down. He's got to pick it up. It is a live ball as it goes down to the 1 yard line. He breaks one tackle and can't break another, and that'll be the shortest, I think, kick return of the year for Dominic McKenzie of about 4 yards.
Yeah, let's not forget, this is a guy who had a 95-yard kickoff return touchdown last week against Canyon View. We know he's capable of springing a big play. Kind of been a weird game for him. It's been a weird game for the Panther offense overall when you look at 21 points, which for most teams that's a normal night, but for the Panthers it's not. But for McKenzie, he went from a 5-touchdown game against Canyon View or a 4-touchdown game against Canyon View to really being stifled most of the night.
Bunnell late coming onto the field, trying to get last-minute instruction from his coach. 1:18 on the clock. Crimson has a couple of timeouts. Maybe that's why you kick it deep. You get a stop here, get the ball back, score, try an onside. You just never know.
Very true, and that kick actually really worked out in their favor because the Panthers are very backed up.
And Pineview's going to take one of those timeouts as they were getting very close to a delay of game. Let's go ahead and take one more timeout. 21-7, 1:18 on the clock. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're at Pineview High School. Panthers lead it by 14 with 1:18 to go in the clock. This is their game to lose. They've got it in the bag if they can just take care of the football, get another first down. They start, though, at their own 6-yard line as Crimson elected to kick it deep instead of onside kick it. Bunnell hands it off, trying to get to the outside. Looking for a block is Lung Choi, and he can't get one. He does get maybe 5 yards, and they throw him backwards. Let's see if Crimson uses a timeout here. Looks like they're going to hang on to it. That was Doug Lung Choi with the carry, and he's actually going to limp off the field. So Takao and Jordan hurting. Now Lung Choi, who has a 100-yard night tonight, will limp off the field, and they'll bring Collison in.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. You're down to Colson. Really is the only person who's carried a football for you this year.
I don't even know who they have left after that. I guess a JV kid probably, huh?
That's my guess.
So Collison is switched from left to right by the quarterback Bunnell. They hand him the football. He has a little hole to cut through. Is spun around and gets it out to the 25 or so. And it'll be third down. Nice effort defensively on the play for the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs. I'm trying to get his number.
I think that's 63.
His hair is covering it. I can't see it, but yeah, the play was, I think it was 63. I think that was Fasa Tuatai Salanoa Sagapolu.
Yeah. And this game's over.
Yep, Crimson Cliff out of timeouts. Pineview kneels it down, 2-1-0, and that's your ball game. Pineview wins it. It was a rather, uninspiring win. Now, if you're a defensive guy, you'll love it all the way, the shutout all the way until a minute and a half to go when you gave up that halfback pass. But all in all, I guess it doesn't really matter, the prettiness or whatever. What matters is the score, right?
Yeah, absolutely. In the end, I mean, no one's no one's going to lose any sleep over specific statistics. What matters is that the Panthers have won their 6th straight game. They're now 6-1, undefeated in region play at the moment. And right now, we've seen all sides of Pineview at this point in the season, AG. We know that they can score the football. That's evident. We've seen that in multiple games. Tonight, though, where they put up 21 points, which ties with their season low when they played Highland, doesn't matter. They still win the ball game. They won that game against Highland 21-13. They win this one 21-7. So whether you want to turn it into a defensive slugfest and cover everything deep, that's fine. Go ahead. We'll still beat you with our defense. And if you give that up, well, then our offense is going to take over. So impressive showing all the way around from the Pineview Panthers, especially for the defense, who stepped up in a couple of major absences for this Panther squad.
Our game brought to you in part by Luke Udy. Shopping for insurance isn't as fun as watching your favorite team win until you save a ton of money on home, auto, or life insurance. Call Luke Udy today at 435-251-9102. That's Luke Udy Insurance. Also, we appreciate Team D Auto Sales. Team D won't be beat. Now offering consignment. Go see Jason and Parker at Team D Auto Sales, 488 East St. George Boulevard, or go to teamdautosales.com. It's a final 21-7. Pineview wins it. They got the fight song going down in front of us. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have the Johnson Pediatric Dentistry postgame show. Rustin will break down all that went on in this game. It was a fun game, especially for the defensive side. We'll take the timeout. But again, Pineview wins it 21-7. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Pineview High School is the location where the Panthers win a very un-Pineview-like victory tonight. They did win 21-7. No discounting that, but when you score 67 last week, 55 the week before, 40-something the week before that, you kind of expect Pineview to light it up with 6-7 touchdowns. They only got 3 tonight, Rustin.
And one thing, you got to give all the credit first and foremost to the losing team, which is the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs. When we look at Pineview, we know that they're going to score the ball in bunches. But as I analyze the Mustangs pre-game, AG, I wanted to know how legitimate this defense was, because you hold Hurricane to 7 points. You keep Canyon View in check as you smash the Falcons. Like, the defense has shown a lot of improvement since region play, and I wanted to see the ultimate test is against this Panthers offense, one of the best in all of Utah 4A. In fact, they are the best by quite a quite a solid margin when it comes to points scored and points against. For Pineview in particular, they've scored 271 points this year alone and have only given up 163. So for the Mustangs, that's the ultimate test, and they do a good job. They come out and only give up 21, which ties Pineview's lowest of the entire season. But ultimately, it shows that the Panthers can win in multiple fashions, multiple ways, and a solid outing altogether from the defensive end for the Pineview Panthers.
Real quick score update, and we'll give you a full update here coming up. We also have the Region 9 wrap-up show, but Dixie just scored again, and the extra point was no good, though. So Snow Canyon leads Dixie late in the third quarter, 35-27. That's turned out to be a heck of a ball game. I think what we're going to do is at the conclusion of our game for a little while until 10 o'clock, we're going to join that other game in progress, kind of get the finish of that game with Devin and company. This is the post-game show brought to you by Johnson Pediatric Dentistry. Dr. Cody Johnson and his staff make your kids feel right at home. See why so many are choosing Johnson Pediatrics. Call 628-0511 and ask for that new patient special. While I'm doing scores, might as well give you some updates. Early fourth quarter, Cedar 50, Canyon View 16. Canyon View just turned the ball over on downs, so Cedar will have it back. 34-6, Desert Hills is on top of Hurricane that game out there at H-Town, but the Thunder, we heard a couple of the coaches say that's the best 1-5 team in football, and you can see Desert Hills is a good football team. Here it was 21-7 final score, and Pineview's defense had a shutout going. Now, if you're a player, Rustin, and we'll talk about the stats here in a minute, but you allowed less than 200 yards for most of the game. You have a shutout going. You're up 21-0, and you get beat deep. Does that do something to you, or can you say, you know what, we won, it doesn't matter?
You know, I think for this defense in particular, it does. This is a Pineview Panther squad who plays with a lot of pride, a lot of passion, and we witnessed on the second to last possession for Crimson Cliffs when they forced that 4-and-out, brought down Tyler Brown in the backfield. The whole defense came over to the side, everyone slapping each other on the helmet, high-fiving, jumping up and down, hugging. You could tell that posting a shutout meant something to them, and at the end, as Rock Hill strolled into the end zone, multiple Panthers looked stunned as if they had just lost the game. Now, of course, they didn't, but it goes to show you how much pride that takes, and for them, it's going to motivate them further because this is a defense who week by week seems to take great strides to becoming one of Region 9's better defenses. We had a lot of questions when the season started, but as of late, they've really held their own, and they grow week by week, and I think that passion that we saw and ultimately that disappointment is going to be a motivational factor for this squad moving forward.
By the way, NBA score, Boston forces a game 6. It's now 3-2. Miami on top, but Boston won tonight 121-108. Game 6, I believe, will be Sunday. So congratulations to Celtics as they keep that series going. Let's talk about some of the statistics in this game brought to you by Wilkinson's, a unique place to shop. Of course, they have lights, fans, and fixtures. The folks in the construction business go to Wilkinson's for what they need because they're that good. And as we look again at some of the stats in this ball game, first of all, Pineview offensively, 323 yards of offense. Very light game passing the ball. Bunnell only attempted 22 passes, which is a small number for Pineview. He completed 15 for 166 yards. He did have one touchdown pass. Pineview, they said, all right, if they're going to give us a run, we're going to run, right?
Well, and the interesting part about that is at half, Bunnell went into half only attempting 15 passes. So he legitimately only attempted 7 in the second half, which was almost twice as little as what he did in the first half alone, and that's because Crimson Cliffs, first of all, took away everything big, forced them to run the football, and the time of possession that the Panthers had the ball, they didn't have it often, specifically in the second half, right. And when they did, I mean, Lung Choi goes for an 87-yard score on your second possession in the second half. It's hard to keep the football for large amounts of time when you're busting off a big play like that. So it kind of goes in all situations. Credit to the Mustang defense, but also recognize that the Panthers were efficient enough that they didn't need Braden Bunnell, who leads the entire Utah 4A in passing yards and passing touchdowns, to go off tonight because they felt content with how they were playing football.
We'll get to more stats in a minute. I want to recap the scoring. Only touchdown of the first quarter was on the last play of the first quarter. Braden Bunnell faked the handoff and then went around the left side and dived into the end zone for a 7-0 Pineview lead. Pineview's defense held from there, and late in the second quarter, Bunnell found Preston Mann on a beautiful corner pass. Mann caught it from 4 yards out. That made it 14-0 at the half. The only score in the third quarter was a big long run. Douglas Lung Choi took the ball right up the middle. His quarterback got creamed on the play, but he made the handoff just in time. Lung Choi outraced everybody for an 87-yard touchdown run. That made it 21-0. And then the late pass from Tyler Brown to Trey Rockhill. Actually, not Brown. I guess it ended up Hansen threw the ball off of a pitch from Brown. 60-yard touchdown pass made it 21-7. That came with a minute 22 left in the game. But I don't know. The scoring plays, did any of those jump out to you there, Rustin?
I mean, I think the biggest one, obviously, you appreciate Crimson Cliffs and the little bit of trickeration that they threw there. You have to appreciate Hansen's pass. He's coming from the wide receiver spot, throwing it at an incredibly tough angle. But I don't know how you can go with anything but Doug Lung Choi, because the reality of it is he was our Sports Clip Star Watch player because we knew he was kind of the obvious choice, because when you're down 2 running backs and you're going to your third stringer, you know that he's going to get a lot of – it's the same thing with fantasy football, right? If someone goes down, you go and you get that player regardless of how good you think they are, because you know they're going to get a bulk of carries, and he did tonight, and he made the absolute most of it. Lung Choi's 87-yard run impressed me not only with his ability all night to run hard and run strong, but really the foot speed that he actually has. He's a quick running back, and for Pineview to have to go to him with 2 injuries, that's an ideal situation. He would be starting and tearing it up for a lot of other teams throughout Utah.
He was our Sports Clips MVP Star Watch. He produced in a big way as Doug Lung Choi with 136 rushing yards. But more importantly, he got most of that on one play, that 87-yard run in the third quarter. That was, in my mind, Rustin, the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
The final nail in the coffin that won that game for Pineview. We'll name that as our AWP Playmaker Play of the Game. You know, it's easier than you think to buy direct and save at Appliance Wholesalers Plus, the #1 playmakers in the appliance business, open to the public across from the freeway from the Bloomington Walmart. Save money at AWP. That 87-yard run by Douglas Lung Choi is our AWP Playmaker Play of the Game. And, you know, we go defense, I think, on Dad's Trucking Player of the Game. I think it comes down to 2 guys. It's Corbin Gifford and then Muai, who was just absolutely phenomenal. Rich Muai made play after play after play, including he had a sack when Crimson Cliffs was down 21-7, had a sack and put the game away.
Yeah, it's really tough because you do have to go with those 2, because those are the 2 right there who stepped up in the absence of 2 big names. And it was, I don't know, Gifford was kind of the guy in the first half. Kind of, you saw him everywhere, containing out on the end, getting in, bringing down the quarterback, and then Mawai kind of cleaned it up there in the fourth quarter, where all of a sudden he was the one in the backfield consistently. He was bothering Tyler Brown. He was getting out and covering the end. Both of them played so well tonight, and we were concerned. We asked, can this Panther defense contain the Mustang rushing attack with these 2 guys missing? And it's almost as if they were never gone because of how well they played.
Let's be diplomatic and go Dad's Trucking Player of the Game. How about that?
Easy way out. I like it.
Yeah, give it to Corbin Gifford, the junior linebacker, and lineman Rick Muai, the senior big fella who had a couple of big sacks in this game. They are Dad's Trucking Players of the Game. You know, Dad's Trucking always delivers your quality service carrier. Fuel up and grab a snack at Ernie's 2 Sinclair Station at the top of the boulevard. Dad's always delivers you the Dad's Trucking Player of the Game all season long. Actually, I don't know, Devin would know how many years, but the Dad's Trucking Player of the Game has been around for a long, long time here on Cherry Creek Family Radio Stations. So congratulations to those 2 guys. Congratulations for Pineview for the victory, 21-7. Last scores I got on the game: 57-16 Cedar over Canyon View, 34-6 Desert Hills over Hurricane, and it was 35-27 Snow Canyon leading Dixie. We're going to go ahead. Hopefully they can get all the buttons figured out and switch to that game and try to get the conclusion of that Dixie Snow Canyon game. Final thoughts, Rustin, before we go back to the studio.
Man, it just makes you appreciate teams like Pineview tonight who are able to win in multiple different circumstances. Crimson Cliffs, they played a heck of a ball game. The defense should be proud. I mean, they did everything they had to do to stay in this game and ultimately try to win it. It was the offense that ended up kind of letting them down in the long run. So I'm excited to see more adjustments the Mustangs make to make that offense more aggressive. And for the Panthers, man, I know Snow Canyon. Everyone's high on that hype train, including myself. But Pineview is a threat to be reckoned with. Do not discount them. I like them a lot. They've won in multiple fashions and shown that they can hang with the best, beat the best, as well as take care of business when things aren't going their way.
Should be one heck of a battle next week. Pineview at Snow Canyon. That'll be on ESPN Radio. Let's do this. Let's take a timeout. When we come back, I believe we're going to flip the switch and get so that we can simulcast the Dixie Snow Canyon game until 10 o'clock on this network. So we'll wrap it from here. Rustin, great job. Great to work with you tonight. Pineview wins it by a final of 21-7.